Today's question comes from Bethany in Georgia. My husband and I are having a disagreement on our monthly personal spending money. We budget for each of us to have $100. My husband says I can't visit my family in Florida because we're paying off debt and that the cost would be around $500. But he also talks about saving his allowance over several months to go to a concert.
Uh-oh.
I was under the impression that if you only plan on spending 30 out of the 100, you put the 30 into a spending envelope and use the rest towards debt. Can you clear this up for us?
Uh-oh. George, I feel like I need to get you one of those judge robes.
I would love that.
This feels like an episode of Judge George.
A little gavel?
A gavel? Why does it have to be little? Why can't you have a full-size gavel?
A big gavel's a little bit superfluous.
Superfluous?
It's a little bit much.
Oh, you think you're trying to overcompensate?
Yeah. I think the gavel should fit the judge.
I'm going to get you a giant gavel, like where you're here like this. All right,
it's
what
like a carnival game.
America wants to know. This is a spicy one.
Well, the hot take is I think this is less about finances and more about their communication
100%.
and expectations around this.
Yeah.
So they have $100 each month, but he's saying to her, you can't use $500 to go on this trip, even if you saved up your $100 spending money.
Yeah.
But I can use mine saved up to go to a concert.
Yeah, a guy wants to go see Whitesnake. And
so she's saying,
okay.
My understanding is if you don't spend all your spending money, it needs to be used towards debt. So can you clear this up? So the question really becomes, are you allowed to sort of not use the spending money and then use it for whatever you want down the road, or does it have to be used every month or it goes away? So that feels like semantics at that point, and there's no Ramsey ruling on this that I can hit
So you
the
know
gavel.
where my brain goes? Back to the old school envelope system, right? That Dave espoused for years. So if you had what was called blow money, right? This is okay, each of us get some money, husband and wife, you get to go spend it on wherever you want, right? But there would be times where I had to go to that envelope and I had to use that money for something else that was a higher priority. So it feels like that's where we're at here.
Well, to me, if you said you can use this on whatever you want, as long as it's moral
you get to use
and
it
legal,
on whatever you want.
then she can save it up for 5 months and go to Florida.
I feel like we got a control freak on our hands. I think the guy here is like, do what I say, not as I do.
Yeah. So if he's able to save it up for months and go to the concert, I don't know why she can't save it up for months and go see family.
And listen, this is not just a money question. Can I just talk to guys everywhere? Okay? Dating, married? Listen, this guy's missing the boat. What he ought to do is go, yeah, of course you could go see your mom. While you go to the mom's, I'm going to go to the concert, hang out with the boys.
Time it perfectly.
I don't know what his problem is. He's really playing against himself here. This is not a happy wife, happy life type of move.
Well, and there seems to be an unspoken rule book that he has on how this should all go down. And so they need to be very clear as to what this money can be used for, what the stipulations are for each of them, and agree on it. That's what this comes down to. But I don't think she's in the wrong if she wants to do that.
So, Judge George, what is your ruling?
She wins. Bethany
wins.
Yeah, I don't know what they say in court. It's not a guilty or not guilty. This is more like of a Judge Judy situation.
I'm telling you, the husband's guilty of being a bonehead. That's what he's guilty of.
Boom.
That's my ruling. How about that?
You can't go to prison for being a bonehead, though.
You can go to prison because you're a bonehead. You do something boneheaded, and the next thing you know, you're on an episode of Cops.
You do the crime, you pay the time.
There it is.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Today's question comes from Bill in Arkansas. I bank with Truist Bank, and they offer a Delta Sky Miles reward debit card. It has a $99 or less, depending on spending, annual fee, but you get 1 mile for every $2 spent on all purchases except ATM withdrawals. The rewards do not expire. My wife's family lives a few states over, and we are currently inheriting a family business, so we do travel quite a bit. Is this worth it in your opinion?
Oh boy, I'm fired up about this one, Christina. No, Bill, it is not worth it. Even though it's a debit card, I am not paying to have a debit card. And you just laid out, here's the deal. You pay $99, but here's the blessing, Christina. You get 1 mile for every $2 spent. Here's the thing.
Yeah, let's.
When it comes to miles, there is no indication of what 1 mile even means. And so Bill's in Arkansas, and so I did a little pre-show math here. To go from Little Rock to Nashville round trip in December is 31,000 points. So if you're doing the math at home, 1 mile for every $2 spent, that means 30,000 miles is $60,000 worth of spending for one person to go round trip from Little Rock to Nashville and back.
Ouch.
So you are going to pay $100 for the annual fee, then spend $60,000 of your net income on God knows what to go from Little Rock to Nashville and back. That same flight, if you just paid for it on the same airline, Delta, would cost $282.
Wow.
Enjoy your miles, Bill. So no, never let rewards drive decisions.
Right. Well, and like, what does that do to the psyche to make you, one, want to make sure you spent enough to make your $99 fee worth it, but then thinking, man, I really want to get enough points to get this flight. So $60,000 is the bar I have to reach. I feel like that encourages spending.
Oh, absolutely. And then you feel like you won. You go, hey, we got a free flight. So, Christina, I don't understand what the issue is. Yeah, but you spent $60,000 to get it.
Ugh.
And so your math is broken here. No, never do that. And it's one of the reasons, Christina, we launched our very own debit card called Gazelle the other day. And one of the reasons is we're sick of banks screwing people over. And so we don't fee you to death. There's no annual fee. There's no – we don't even do overdraft because we're like, we don't want you to spend money you don't have. It will just decline. And so it's a great way to spend and save the Ramsey way if you want to check that out. But, Bill, I'm not falling for this Sky Miles Rewards debit card, man. Just do a budget, save up for your vacations, pay for the flights. I like to use Google Flights and Skyscanner and all kinds of online tools to just find the best deal on a flight instead of being beholden to one airline.
Right. That's what I was going to say is this is just through Delta. Like if you look around at some of the cheaper airlines, there's a good chance you could find a flight for $100 anyways. You know, Little Rock to Nashville is not far. We've driven that several times. So one, you could drive if you really want to go. But at the same time, like just shop around. We both love travel. We both love travel deals. We're kind of obsessed with Skyscanner and finding the best flight. And it's like you can do this in a much smarter way.
Yes. So don't fall for this, folks. If you're seeing these rewards and you see, well, it's a debit card, so that's helpful. But, oh, wait, there's an annual fee. And so now I have to spend enough to at least cover the annual fee, which is going to cause me to spend enough to cover the annual fee. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy here that will cause you to be broke. So, Bill, I hope you say no to this debit card and just stick to a no-fee debit card and don't spend because of the rewards. Thanks for the question, though. It's a good discussion.
It's a good discussion because it's very tempting. Like when you see that and you see miles and you see the potential of a free flight, like that's exciting and it can kind of get you stirred up to where you don't really want to look at the math. You're just excited to go somewhere. You're excited to, get on an airplane. That seems very cool. And it's like, wait a minute. When you break this down, it's not really as cool as it seems.
It's never worth it. And Christina, we did an entire episode on the fine print about this very topic. It's about credit card rewards, but now that debit cards are starting to try to compete in this weird space, we have to watch out for this as well. So you can go listen to it. It's episode 2 of the Fine Print podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, called The True Cost of Credit Card Rewards. And I talked to an ex-employee of Capital One who dishes. And she explains how they do tens of thousands of experiments every year on consumers to get them to spend more. And instead of cash back, they went, hey, what if we did like points and miles? Because that's confusing. And you could be 100,000 points and you feel like you're winning, but really you're a loser. So don't fall for this. Don't fall. You're just a rat in the maze and you get to the cheese and you think you won until you realize, oh my gosh, I'm in a maze. I'm in a tiny prison.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. They're
I know.
Studying us like rats.
We made Christina sad. Thanks, credit card companies.
So, George, I saw you doing a thing the other day. You're like a hacks guy. I mean, you find all these shortcuts and these deals and these ways to do things. And you and Rachel were doing some on the grocery store that were really, really popular. And you were telling me a few minutes ago, and I thought, let's just tell everybody that
Share the secrets.
You've got number one, we are not kidding when we say in baby step 1, 2, and 3, you don't need to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there until you're out of debt, because restaurant food is entertainment. It is not nutrition. If you want to spend 1/4 of what you spend at the restaurant, you will have a better meal when you learn to cook at home. Okay, so it's not about, it's economics. If you want to do entertainment, you do entertainment when you're not broke and in debt and don't have an emergency fund. So when you finish baby step 3, though, and you're in 4, 5, 6 running simultaneously, yes, we go on vacation. Yes, we go into restaurants. And We're not against restaurants. Sharon and I will eat at a restaurant this week, I suspect. Maybe. I don't know. Sometime. But I mean, we we're not every night people like some of you. So, so we're not anti-restaurant. And hey, one guy said, well, in the restaurant business, you don't like people in the restaurant business. I love the restaurant business. I just don't want people, broke people going in there.
Yes.
So anyway, once you're not broke people, you've got some ideas on how to save some money, some savings hacks, especially on some of these quick serves.
Yes. And now we're not talking like bottom of the barrel fast food here because it's hard to beat the Taco Bell $1 menu. There's not a lot. You can't hack it much further.
Yeah, a can of Alpo beats that.
Exactly. Well, there's not much real meat in there.
I'm
But
just saying.
some of these fast casual places, the Paneras, the Chipotles, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A. I put Chick-fil-A in another tier. I don't know why.
I agree. And Panera, I would agree.
It's a level
I
of
put
service
almost
and
anything
quality.
in another tier from Taco Bell.
There you
okay.
go.
All right.
So, do you want to do a choose your own adventure? Are you a fan of any of those? I can't see you frequenting any of these.
I'm not the customer, and I'm not the focus group. So you just plow right in.
Okay. Well, most of America maybe steps into a Starbucks at some point.
Apparently,
Right?
they're on every freaking corner.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'll give you some hacks here for Starbucks because some of y'all are getting $8 drinks at Starbucks that don't even have coffee in them. It's just sugar and water, and it's just real fancy. And you add whipped cream on top, and you go, happy to give you $8. So here's some hacks.
Okay.
Number 1, become a rewards member. This is completely free. There's no credit card involved. All you do is you sign up to become a rewards member, and you get free refills on your brewed coffee. You get exclusive offers. You get a free drink on your birthday, and you can get any drink, Dave. You can get a $10 drink on your birthday if you want to. There you go. So I'll celebrate with you.
It's not Starbucks. It's $10.
Exactly. They're increasing the prices.
Okay.
So that's number 1. Number 2, get caffeine for cheap. If you're just going to get the caffeine, you want that bump, you want that adrenaline rush, then avoid all the fancy drinks and get the brewed coffee. And here's why. It has more caffeine than any of their other drinks. A tall coffee. That's the small one. Dave, I know it's confusing. Small, tall. You don't think of that when you think of me. I'm a size tall in height. There you go.
I'm just saying.
That has 235 milligrams of caffeine. A venti latte has 150. That's confusing.
I saw the cartoon the other day. The editorial guy, the guy's up at the with the barista, and she turns around to the other guy and goes, "Do we have a flavor called regular coffee?" Yeah. So there you go.
It's hard to find these days.
Yeah.
So go for the brewed coffee. It's the cheapest thing on the menu, and it has the most caffeine. So don't come at me in the comments there. Number 3, there's a drink that's even smaller than the tall, and get this, Dave, it's called short.
Who knew?
Who knew? And this is a tiny drink, but you can get the same amount of espresso in there for a cheaper price, or you get your brewed coffee at a cheaper price. If you really are on a budget and you want to save some money with all this inflation stuff going around, ask for a short. And you can ask for it in a tall cup. That way there's some room at the top there. You might get a little more bang for your buck. Number 4, split a venti. Now, Dave, I'm trying to help you with the sizes here. The venti is the big one.
Okay.
So if you and Sharon are going to get the same drink, instead of you both getting a drink and paying $10, split a venti and then pour it into an empty cup.
Sounds romantic.
So romantic. You can drink from the same straw if you want. You can still do that with both cups. I don't know what you and Sharon do these days to keep the spark alive. I'm guessing no.
Just keep moving on,
All
George.
right. That's fun. And the last one here is go light on the ice. You can ask for light ice or no water added, and you get way more in there. You ever take a drink of something, Dave, and it's just
All ice.
it's 4 pounds of ice in there,
Yeah.
and your drink was over in 10 seconds, and you
That's
go, why
kind
did I
of
pay?
that's kind of an old fast food trick. Yeah, fill the cup up with ice instead
That's
of
how I
Coke.
feel about cocktails too. You take
Yeah.
4 sips and it's gone. You went, that was $20.
Yeah, that's because you're a guzzler.
That's
Yeah.
right. So ask for light ice or no water added, and you will get more bang for your buck. So there's some easy Starbucks hacks, and I know a lot of people.
Give me another one. We got just a minute. Give me another one.
Okay.
Dive in another
One more Starbucks hack.
No. Another company. Go to
okay.
Chick-fil-A. Everybody loves
I
Jesus.
love
Jesus
Chick-fil-A.
chicken. Right.
Okay,
Here we go.
One
All
of
right.
my favorites. Obviously, download the Chick-fil-A One app, become a rewards member, all that good stuff. But here's the thing, Dave. I order a kid's meal because calorically, it's still way more calories than any adult needs. Because
How am
it's
I
Chick-fil-A.
not supposed to say anything
But you
now?
have, Dave.
How is it possible I can
Do it.
pass that by?
Do it. Here's the deal. With the kids' meal, you get a drink, you get your fries, and you can swap the toy for an ice cream. Dave is breathing so heavily right now. But here's the deal.
I'm trying
it's
to be nice.
$5, and you get your food, you can get your nuggets, whatever you want, for about $5. Another one, Dave.
Feels like you're cheating to me.
You ready for this?
All right.
You can order a BLT at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, but you're at Chick-fil-A.
I know, but Dave, here's the thing. It's $1.60. You get
Whoa.
bread. It's a toasted bun with bacon, lettuce, tomato. So I'm just saying, if you're on a budget, you got $2 to blow, and
I
you
gotta
want
try
something
that
to eat.
because their food quality is so good on everything else. I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, and you know what?
$1.60?
The sauce is free. The sauce is free. Pour all the sauce you want on there.
Why? It probably don't need to. It's probably okay. $1.60 though.
Because what you're paying for with the sandwich is the chicken. You're paying for the filet. So when you take that out, it brings the cost way down. So there's a lot more, Dave. We could go all day, but I can tell you're frustrated already.
No, I'm not frustrated. I'm just interested. It's
You know what America wants to see? Me and you driving down to Chick-fil-A down the road here and ordering.
Yeah.
I think that's our next video together.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Probably not.
Okay. It's a good effort. I just wanted to see Dave roll up in his mean old truck ordering a kid's meal for himself. That is the content America needs right now, Dave.
Well, that would end up on YouTube. Fraud! Ramsey's, if he's not a child, he just ordered a kid's meal and he's not a child.
I'll be next to you.
Yeah.
As your child.
It's okay. It's all good. I'll take a grandkid and use them as a prop.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You both can get kids meals.
You got to get some value out of them. So.
Well, I'm just here to save the people $1. And here's the thing. It's not about saving
So what's the ones for Panera?
Panera, they've got a new value duet piece. They used to have a you pick two. Now they have a value duet. So it's $6-7, and you can get a soup and a sandwich half and half.
Oh, that's the duet.
And you can ask for a lot of free toppings, which is great. So you can double the size of your sandwich by adding all of these free toppings in there. So all the veggies.
We'll pick up a bunch of Panera sometime on a trip and just put it in and they throw stuff in. They're pretty generous with the add-on stuff.
All that bread's cheap. They'll throw a bunch in there.
Well, it's not just the bread. I mean, the chips, they're pretty. They're not there's a lot of value in general. And the food again, they're like Chick-fil-A. I think the food quality is pretty good for a fast serve, quick serve, or whatever you call them.
And they have a new sip club, so you get unlimited coffee for an entire month, or iced coffee, hot tea for $8.99. So if you go to Panera frequently, or it's on your way to work, for $9 a month, you can get as much coffee as you want. You can go every 2 hours if you want to.
How does that not beat all of your Starbucks hacks?
Well, I prefer the quality of the coffee at Starbucks.
Oh, you like the burnt dark roast?
That's right. Well, I get the blonde roast, Dave. If you want to get particular here.
Okay, all right.
So there it is.
So Panera is not like Dunkin' Donuts. They don't have world famous coffee.
Seattle's
Dunkin' Donuts
best.
coffee is supposed to be a big deal too, right?
Yeah, I'm from Boston, and so my Bostonians will say Dunkin' beats everyone, but really they're just pouring cream and sugar in it and calling it coffee. So, sorry.
Wait a minute, what's the difference in that Starbucks?
Well, I drink it black, Dave. I'm one of those hipster types.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you like a little sugar in your coffee?
No,
America wants to know.
I'm a hardcore. I mean, super strong. Like you
Just mud.
stand a stick up in it.
You want it mud.
And don't want anything in it. No, nothing.
Just-
Nothing. As a matter of fact, I'll take a coffee and throw an espresso in it.
Wow, the red eye. That's what they call it.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know it had a name.
You were cool before it was cool.
I'm not. Never. That was never on the list.
Well,
It was
use some hacks.
it was just a lot of caffeine involved. That's
Let
all.
me know if you use the hacks and you save $1. It'll make me feel good. I'll sleep well at night.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the service, George. Well
I'm here
done.
to help.
This is The Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So recently I just got out of prison. I have no debt. I have no kids. So I'm just trying to find out where I can direct my life to a better path.
Well, good for you. How long were you in prison for?
2 years.
What'd you do?
Instead of being a businessman and other things, I became a businessman in there and started selling drugs. I got caught with like a illegal enterprise, just a bunch of stuff that I should have never done in the first place.
Okay, cool. So you had an entrepreneurial spirit and used it in the wrong place.
In the wrong place, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good news because you're right. You can use those same set of skills in a legal, not an illegal enterprise and probably prosper. Mm-hmm. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, good for you. Cool. So are you working at all?
Right now I'm working as a tow truck driver, but this is like my first real job. So I do like it, but it's not the same money where I was making, but it gives me the courage or the ambition to chase a better career.
Good.
Right now.
Yeah. What are you making?
Right now I'm making it's shit money. I'm sorry for the language. I'm making $30K a year.
And what's your living situation?
I had to go back with my mom,
Okay.
and I'm happy to God I still have her, or else I don't know what else I would have done.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How long have you been out? When did you get out?
I've been out for 6 months.
Okay. Good. So far you got a place to live, and you got some money coming in, and you have a job that's legal.
That's good.
That's a really good start.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good start. So,
100%.
and like you said, while you're doing this, you start to think about what's the next step. What's the next step? What's the next step? And by the way, you're probably going to be thinking that for the rest of your life. We all do. What's the next step? What's the next thing? What you got next for me, God? Where are we going from here? And so, who you running around with these days?
I have no friends.
Okay.
Other than friends, I mean it like I have zero like true friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I just have my girlfriend. We've been together for 8 years, but
Wow.
I mean,
you're starting fresh because you know better than to go hanging around with the folks you were hanging around before. So you're starting fresh.
100%.
I listen. I love that. To Dave's point, you've got a place to live. You've got a job that's paying you something. I like the fact that you're going. Okay, I'm not going to be a tow truck driver forever. What's the next step? What are you interested in?
That's the thing. I don't know. I sit down and I really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really don't have family that has prospered, like in life, like as in, like a business, anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. Honestly, I'm like the first person that graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I have five. I have 2 sisters
Mm-hmm.
and 3 brothers. So, I mean, I'm just the only one that really did.
So you're
fuck up
looking.
in life, but
You're looking for a mentor. You need somebody that you can look
start.
to. Yeah.
meant for somebody.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm gonna hook you up with
That's
a
right.
friend of mine. I'm gonna hook you up with a friend of mine that's a pastor there. His name's Cal, and he's a pastor of a big church there in Phoenix. And I'm gonna hook you up with him, and he's gonna get some guys around you. Because here's what I know, Jesse, and you already know this too. You become who you hang around with, and so you've got to be very selective about who you put around you, particularly at this time in your life. And so plugging you into a good church community with some good men who can show you a direction to go and some next steps. I don't think we can do everything you need to do in one radio call. You got a lot of things. You got a lot of potential. A lot of wonderful things can happen in your future, and I don't think we're going to be able to line up everything for you to do in one call.
That's right.
But we got to get. First thing was got to get, or the next thing is get some community around you, and then I want you to continue to do what Jay just challenged you to do, and that's think about, all right, what is something that I see out there? What's a problem that people in Phoenix have that I can help them with their problem? Because as an entrepreneur, Jesse, I'll tell you, when you help someone with their problem, they give you money. Okay? I mean, if it's lawn care, you solve their problem. If it's pressure washing, you solve their problem. If it's fixing their car, you solve their problem. In your case right now, the company you're working for is removing cars from places they shouldn't be. You solved a problem. Or taking someone's broken car somewhere. You solved a problem. So when you solve a problem as an entrepreneur, people pay you money for that. And it's amazing what you can do to create income when you see something and you go, gosh, if I helped people with that problem, I could probably charge for that, and they would let me do that. And I want you to start thinking along those lines, because I do think, I wasn't joking around, I think your entrepreneurial spirit that got you into trouble could also, when applied right, be the biggest blessing that ever happened to you.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hook you up with Cal. I'm gonna put you on hold, and Christian's gonna pick up our phone screener, and I'll get you. He's gonna get your information, and we're gonna get you hooked up with that community. And the other thing I want you to do is I'm gonna give you a code to take Ken Coleman's assessment, his career assessment, and it's gonna be free to you because I'm gonna pay for it. Test for you to start to say, okay, these are my strengths, and that could maybe spark some ideas of some next things to do. And then patiently saying, God, thank you for this tow truck job, even though it doesn't pay much, because at least I got one. And then patiently, while being grateful for where you are, start making the steps to never be there again, and to move to a better place, and then to a better place, and then to a better place. Don't jump. Don't try to get moving too fast.
Yeah.
There's no easy money out there. It's all hard money.
I want you to get hooked up with BetterHelp too, because your life has changed greatly over the past 2.5 years, and that's a lot to work through. Your family, the way you interact with your family is different. You said you didn't have any friends. And so I think it would be good not only to get plugged in with the church, but really to be talking to somebody on a normal basis about how to navigate this.
Yeah, that's a good plan. It's a good plan. So hold on. We're going to take care of all that for you. We want to be part of this next chapter of your life that's a good chapter. And we're going to help you solve a problem. There you go. That's how this works. Hang on, Jesse. We'll take care of you. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Then Bloomberg comes out today and says Americans are falling behind on car payments at a higher rate than any time, 3 times as bad as 2009.
Well, I
the
wonder
last
why.
Great Recession.
I wonder why, Dave. Because people are taking these notes. It says there's a growing cohort of Americans facing auto repossessions. This is an ominous sign for the U.S. economy. During the pandemic, a surge in used car prices forced
Yes, because
buyers
they had a gun.
to take out bigger loans. And that right there, forced.
Yep, you were forced.
That's the word.
You didn't have a choice.
Well, here's the thing. On that
I mean, you had to have a $74,000 Raptor, and so you were forced.
And that's what I saw. Dave, if you look at the comments on that post, that is what people are saying.
Like
well,
they're
what's
a
our
freaking
choice?
victim.
What was our choice,
Your
Jade?
choice is don't be stupid. That's your choice.
That's your choice.
Don't be stupid. Try not being stupid. That's a good choice.
And then the other side of it, the other side of reality, like you said, the people who chose to go against the grain are saying, hey, I just bought a car in cash that I could afford. It's getting me from point A to point B, and when the right time comes, I upgrade. So there is a cohort of Americans who do have the right idea, Dave.
There's some smart people.
There are some people.
And there's some stupid people.
Yeah. There's a lot of stupid people, Dave. 85% of Americans have car notes. And of those 85% of Americans, 15% of them have a car note of $1,000 or more.
It's just hard to wrap my little bald head around.
1,000.
I just can't even get my head around that. So here's the thing. If you put that, as Jade did, in a calculator and talked about it last week in that piece that went viral, if you invest a car payment for just a couple of decades, you will have over $1 million. You'll have $5 million if you do it for 3 decades.
Thank you.
And so I don't have the money saved for my kids' college. It's because you're stupid. And you put all your money in a car payment. That's why you got no money. You were stupid.
And can you talk to the people, Dave? Because I tried to tell them. I said the same thing you said. And do you know what they said to me? Where are you getting a 10% rate of return? Who's going to invest their money over 30 years, Jade? And do you want to know what the answer is? Millionaires. That's how people make their money. If you're listening and you don't understand that.
This is not a car problem. This is a YOLO problem.
Yes.
You only live once. Oh, you sweet little child. Listen, adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good.
Bingo.
Very few people who are successful are whiners. They don't walk around with a big V on their forehead that says victim. I can't get a car. I want a car that's safe. Oh, shut up.
They roll up their sleeves and they work.
Seriously.
There's people here who roll up their sleeves and work. There are actual people in the world who will set aside a portion of their income for 20, 30 years and invest it into their 401k, into their IRA, and they become millionaires.
That's what we call them, millionaires.
We hear them every day on the air. So for all of those people...
And they weren't forced to do that.
They weren't forced. But for all of these folks out here yakety-yakking, talking yak talk about, oh, you can't get a 10% rate of return. Here's what I kept hearing. What stocks give you an annual rate of 10% return?
The stock market has averaged 11.8% since it began.
Dave.
Hello.
And if Dave
Look at the
is saying
S&P
it,
500. That's the average on it since it began, 11.8.
that's the average.
For 80 years, you dumb butt. This is not hard.
We're sitting here telling you, you got Dave Ramsey, who's got more money than anybody you know. And then Forbes magazine tells us the number one payment keeping people broke is their car note. It's not just us. So if you want to think it's just Ramsey Solutions, they're the only folks out here saying this. That is not the case. The case is 85% of people have car
And
notes.
here's the thing.
67% of people are living
If
paycheck to
you'll
paycheck.
quit whining and work,
What a
then
concept.
what you'll have is the ability to sacrifice to win. See, adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good. Here's the thing. So when I went broke, we lost everything. We had one car with a payment on it. I reaffirmed it out of bankruptcy. And I'm paying my payment. And my wife would have left, but we only had one car. And so, I mean, we were mad, we were hurt, we were wounded, whining like some of you people are. And a guy loaned me a car because I refused to, that's it, I'm not borrowing any more money. He loaned me a 1978 Cadillac with 478,000 actual miles on it. The predominant color on it was Bondo. The vinyl roof was torn loose across the front, so when you drove it, it filled up with air. It looked like a parachute. I'm driving a Bondo buggy with a parachute on top. Now, you know what I was driving before that, before I went broke? A Jaguar. I went from Jaguar to parachute Bondo buggy because you know what happens when you go broke? You don't care what other people think anymore.
You don't care.
I lost my need to impress your butt at a stoplight. And so I go into a nice neighborhood in that car. The cops are following me, think I'm there to rob somebody. And so I got profiled based on my car. Can you imagine that?
I can.
And so, so I drove like no one else. And I saved up and I paid cash for a $1,000 car, which is an incredible upgrade.
Yep.
And gave my buddy his blessing back that he had loaned me. And then we move on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
And we save up and we buy a $3,000 car, and we save up and we buy a $10,000 car. You know, I drove like no one else, so now I drive anything I freaking want.
Come
Shut
on,
up,
Dave.
you whiner.
Come on, Dave.
Seriously.
Y'all need to know what it feels like to work.
And stop your whining. It's not becoming. The wussification of America, the things you think you have to survive, is sickening. It's sickening. For a short period of time, pay a price to win. No one wins without paying a price. The repo rate on you idiots right now is 3 times what it was in 2009 in the Great Recession. It's the worst repo rate we've seen in 30 years. Stop it! Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
I'm expecting to get married in the next year and a half, and the person I'm expecting to get married to comes from a lot of money.
Uh-oh.
And as someone that's in school and I'm expecting to have a stable career, I'm a little nervous because I don't think I can match that lifestyle that she's exposed to.
You can't.
You can't. Let it ride, dude.
I mean, her father's an entrepreneur, and he makes a lot of money. And I know that type of wealth that she comes from is only available for an entrepreneur or businessman or have her own thing going on. And in all honesty, I'm not too confident that I could match that.
You
And I don't know
can't.
if I'm-
I thought we just covered
You
this.
can't.
And John said,
I
let it
can't.
go.
I'm sorry.
How do you think? How do you think any of the men marrying Dave Ramsey's daughters felt? You don't. And you know what? Both of those men, I know them. They're friends of mine. They're confident. They're smart, and they do good work. But they ain't ever going to have $750 million.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
So
his
is the
daughters
issue
don't
you?
love them any less.
Is the issue you, which we would understand that, you got to get over that, but I understand you feeling that, or is it her? Is she putting pressure on you? I mean, what's the reason for this call? What can we help you with?
Well, I don't know her too well is the issue. It's sort of an arranged marriage type of situation.
Okay, hold
Very-
up. Now we're digging in.
Hold
hold on. So, are you actually engaged? Because you started off the call saying I'm going to get married in about a year and a half. Is there a ring?
Well, there's not a ring, but
Are there animals going back and forth with the arranged marriage? Like 150
Are you worth
goats?
many goats?
Cows?
What are we doing
What
here?
are we doing?
well, she's from Morocco.
Okay.
As you know, Fred mentioned, my cousin married her sister actually, and this is actually we went to their wedding and things of that nature, And the way it works is she asked her dad, and her dad came to me, and her dad said, "Are you married?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm actually 19 years old. I'm not married." And we kind of hit it off from there.
Whoa. Who hit it off? You and the dad, or you and this girl?
Me and the dad. I haven't really talked. I talked to her.
That's
here
what
and
I
there,
thought.
not much.
I thought I heard you say, me and Pops hit it off, and I think I might marry his daughter.
So, I don't know if you know this, but she is a key component of this marriage that y'all are setting up.
Not really.
That's
Not
right.
with this
Yeah.
deal. Is it really an arranged marriage?
Yes, sir. Yes. My mom and dad. Well, mainly my mom. I actually have 7 siblings, and my mom tried to get each of us arranged, and I'm the last one. And she always talked about it, all of this. And when she came in contact with her parents, they're like, done deal. They don't like the word arranged. We use the word insisted. I don't know if that's more.
I think that's probably the better word. I think that's what it is. I think that's actually the right word. Let me ask you this. Where are you at on this deal? Do you want to do this? I don't care how cool Pops is or not.
Well, I mean, she's pretty. She's really pretty.
No, bro, you're not answering my question, and I think I know the answer. Do you want to marry this girl or not?
I think I do.
No, you don't.
No, you don't even know her.
You want to please your mom is what you want to do. You want to make your mom happy because she insists that you marry this wealthy Moroccan girl.
Well, for me, honestly, I understand that.
Yeah,
I've
good.
talked to her. I forgot to mention. I talked to her here and there, like nothing crazy, nothing like.
Bro,
like,
I'm not
when you-
marrying somebody that I talk to here and there. That's an acquaintance.
What are you doing?
Why'd you call us?
I believe I will marry this girl. In all honesty, it's all set up. So basically set in stone.
So
It's
then,
gonna
okay,
happen.
in all honesty, why did you
That
call us?
doesn't matter that you called
Because
us.
John and I want to help you, but we've already
yes,
told you
sir.
how we feel.
Yes, sir. So,
How can we help?
well, I don't know if I mentioned that. Well, I'm set up for a stable career later on down the road, and I don't know how to. I can't match this lifestyle with it. I don't know her.
But hold on. Listen, Adam.
enough.
I feel like we're on a hamster wheel.
Yeah, none of the things you're saying matter. It doesn't matter that hold on. It doesn't matter that you don't talk to her regularly. It doesn't matter that you haven't been on dates. It doesn't matter that you haven't kissed her yet. It doesn't matter none of that matters because you said this thing's arranged. So if it's arranged and you as a grown man in the United States of America are going to get in that boat and say, all right, Mom, you're going to direct the rest of my life, then, bro, it doesn't matter what you make. It doesn't matter any of that stuff because you got in the arranged boat and you took off down the river.
What do you care?
Let that be. If you want to be a grown up and decide, I love you, I want to create a life with you, us two, as two individual adults creating one, not letting my mom and your dad drive our future. If you want to do that, then yes, I get there being feelings like, man, I didn't make as much money as your dad. You're going to have a different lifestyle. We may have Honda lifestyle when you're used to a Lexus lifestyle. That's all well and good, but that's not your situation right now, dude. So just if that's what the choice you're making, get in the boat, prop your feet up, and put your hands behind your head, and then just ride on down the river out into the ocean, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
So you called us saying, guys, I don't know what to do. I don't think I can provide for her. Doesn't matter. She chose you and Pops chose you, it sounds like, or the two of them got together and said, this is my guy, and you're just going to go along with it. So therefore, it doesn't matter if she's disappointed. It's got to be the greatest get out of jail husband card of all time. Like,
and Adam, for what it's worth,
absurd.
How old are you, man?
19.
I tell 19-year-olds to get
please
off their
don't
parents'
do
cell
this.
phone plan, much less their marriage arrangement plans. So,
Yes, sir.
knock your lights out, man. You're in uncharted
Yeah.
water for me. So
Yeah,
go get
I would
'em.
tell Pops to get you a good job.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yep.
What are you worried about? Why are we even going to school? I mean, if this guy's wealthy and he selected you, the whole thing is foreign to me, Adam, and we're having a little bit of fun with it because, quite frankly, it's so absurd. I can only laugh with it. And what is absurd is I'm not insulting other. I probably already have, but we'll get over it. The absurdity is your attitude towards it. I'm not going to judge another culture and arranged marriages. I don't get it, but
This
I'm
doesn't
also
feel like a cultural practice. This feels like an overbearing mom.
Yeah, you could say that.
What culture? What culture you come from? Are you an American family?
Oh, well, I was born in I'm born in America, raised in America, but my father's from Yemen.
Yeah.
And we're Muslim, so
Okay.
they're Moroccan. So there's obviously some differences.
This is a generational thing for your parents. This is a very normal thing for them to arrange
Yeah.
or insist.
My parents weren't arranged. My dad's parents were arranged, and their parents were arranged.
Yeah, it's what I'm
so
getting
on.
at. So I don't understand it, but I'm not knocking the tradition because I don't understand it, and I want to be very clear to our large audience on that. What I'm saying absurd is your response to this, because I feel like you got an option to go, deuces, I'm out, or I kind of think I'm going to do it. And yet you called us to go, what do I do? And I'm pleading with you, and I mean this. I hope you remember my voice multiple times tonight before you go to bed. Please don't do this. John, am I right? You can hear it all over him.
Yes.
He feels like he has to do
Yeah, that's the thing, Adam. If this is I've actually looked at the data on the traditional cultural arranged practices. It's remarkable. It's robust. But there's entire family systems around these new married couples and families and all that. So I'm with you, Ken. Not knocking it at all. This doesn't sound like that. It sounds like a mom that wants to make sure her boys marry somebody who's going to have a lot of wealth, right?
And good on mom. She got you there.
Well, she got you, yeah. You, though, Adam, aren't in. And if you're not a part into the cultural practice, if you're not on board with the family practice, you're not on board with this woman that they're gonna at some point they close the door and it's just y'all two.
This is awful, but I'm going to be real.
Okay.
If I was in Adam's situation and the father approached me and we're hanging out and we're bros and he goes, hey, by the way, my daughter over there, it's my fourth one. Would you like to marry her? She thinks you're cute. I'd go, let's talk terms.
Yeah. I would be like,
Can
hey,
I get an offer sheet?
I need to run to the bathroom real quick, and I would go to Washington, D.C., and I would never be seen again.
That's true. But I mean, if we're going to do all this, let's go. All right, what's the job? Do we got a slush fund? This is wackadoodle. I don't know how else to process that. Oh, Adam. He needs to fall in love
Hey,
with
let us
somebody
know. Send us a
quick.
wedding
This
invite.
is
Me and
the
Ken may
Ramsey
show
Show.
up.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.
Ann kicks us off in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ann, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there. Happy New Year. How are you all?
You as well. We're doing great. How can we help today?
Good, good. Well, I have two questions for you. So the first one is how to approach my individual contributor role when I really don't have a desire to move up into management, although I do value recognition and achievement. And then my second question is whether or not it's a wise move to join the Air Force Reserves or the Air National Guard within the next year or two, knowing that the past 2 years have been full of a lot of change and a lot of trauma for me. So it's kind of a twofold question for you all.
Okay, wow. Now we get some real depth here. So let's go for number one first. Does that sound okay?
Sure. That's great. That
So
works.
the heart of your question is what? I heard what you said. Okay, I want to grow or I want to be recognized. I love the way you put it. You want recognition, but you don't want to be promoted into a leadership position. Am I understanding that?
That is correct. I love growing accounts and I love earning more money and being wise with that money, but I don't necessarily want to move into a management role. Whereas my organization I'm at right now is run by former consultants who are really demonstrating that up or out kind of method of dealing with attrition. And I'm also getting some mixed messages from my direct manager who very kindly has said, I'm the best person on the team and she needs me, so she can't promote me. So I'm getting some mixed messages, and what I really want to do is, be the best individual contributor I can be and be wise with my money.
Well, it sounds
that's really what I want to do.
So it sounds like to me the message that matters is your direct leader. And I would tell that leader, hey, this is a match made in heaven, because I don't want to lead. In fact, I get a little bit of anxiety when I hear that these consultants that our leaders are kind of going up or out or whatever. I feel like I've gotten that message, but I got to tell you, I'm as happy as I can be in the role that I'm in, crushing it and I want to get more. I want to make more money, and I want to make the organization more money, so I make more money, so I can manage my money well. I want to stay in this type of role. I'm happy to be your top performer. Please protect me, because I don't want to be promoted into a leadership role. But this is what's weird about, George, our Western Hemisphere. The way we treat promotions, it's like, well, you got to move up the ladder. Instead of going, what do you want to do more of? Do you want to make more money and do a little bit more of this? Why does it always have to be, I'm going to pull you out of the seat where you're crushing it and put you in a seat where you may not want to be?
You may not want to lead people, but you might be the best salesperson. So they go, well, she needs to be over to the sales team and lead them. So and then you're miserable.
Yeah. So I think the answer to number one is reaffirm what your leader's telling you and going, I'm as happy as can be. Protect me, and I want to stay here. All I want to do is keep performing better, get paid more, and spend that money wisely. That's what I think. Okay? You got that one?
I like that. I like it. Love it. Thank you.
Now, the second one, because I want George to jump in on this retirement thing, but I've got to ask George, when you say you've been through a lot of change and trauma, whatever you're comfortable sharing, I'm just curious what that has been and how long that's been going on.
Sure. No, I'm very happy to share. And there's actually some great changes in that, but also some changes that were just a lot to deal with and heal with. So in the last 2.5 years, excuse me, I got sober. I moved across the country. Thank you. I had a major surgery and a traumatic divorce. I lost over 110 pounds. I changed companies, and I was finally diagnosed and treated for ADHD. Wow. So lots of great things in there, but also lots of things that make me pause and say, okay, I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision, because this would be like it didn't have to be a 20-year commitment, but I'm looking at a 20-year commitment in the reserves or the Guard because it's important to me. I want to serve my country and do something beyond myself.
All right, so that leads to what I was really going to dive into and let George talk about it as a retirement option. Sounds like to me you want to serve your country more than you're just trying to juice your retirement benefits, but that is kind of a benefit, pardon the metaphor here. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would say that's correct, because I couldn't even tell you the dollar amount that that retirement would be. It's much more about serving my country. Also family lineage. My grandfather and my father both served, and this is really important to me.
Would it stress you out, your current family relationship life? I know you're just recently divorced, and I'm so sorry about that. But would this extra time in serving our country, do you have margin for that to where it's not a negative?
Would it affect other parts of your life, your job, anything like that?
No. In fact, at my job, most of us have served in some capacity. I'm also single and happily child-free. So I don't view it. I know. I don't think it would. I mean, it would. Here's the truth. It would take away from my yoga on the weekends. That's what it would take away from.
We can live with that.
Exactly.
Namaste.
Exactly.
There you go.
Namaste.
Well, then I would do it. And I would do it for the only reason that you want to serve your country. And anything else is just an auxiliary benefit that's a nice to have, but I would never do it for the retirement benefits. And it sounds like, based on what you told me, your heart is in the right place with this, and I would pursue it if I were you. If that's what's where your heart's saying to go, then the retirement benefit is just part of the package. Do you have retirement as part of your current job?
I do. However, I've worked at startups for the last about 8 years or so. However, have had very steady employment at startups, but we all know how startups go. So that's always kind of in the back of my head. Like, I've got a great retirement, consistently putting 15% a year towards that, but I do feel a little bit behind. I didn't really get my first grown-up job until the last about 8 years or so. So a little bit of it, there is part of me that wants to make sure I'm playing catch up, but that's not the main motivator behind this.
Are you debt-free?
I am. I'm debt-free. I'm on baby step 3B right now.
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
So soon you're going to be a homeowner. That's going to help you build wealth. What's your income?
Yes, sir. 125. I make $125,000 a year.
Oh,
that's
I love
awesome.
it. You are going to retire with plenty of dignity and plenty of time to enjoy as much yoga as you can handle. You'd probably be
That's my
teaching the
plan.
class by then,
Bike
based on
rides
how
and
I'm talking
yoga.
to you. Well, we are so proud of you. Honored to talk with you, Ann, and thank you in advance for serving this great country. What a cool call. A lot to manage there, Ken, but she's very well-spoken. And if I was hiring, I'd hire Ann.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
And I think, by the way, she said learned ADHD, and but there was a woman that
Nothing's
was
gonna
highly
stop her.
focused, and she's live and just rattling it off. And I think the serving is a great way to heal.
Huge. Elizabeth joins us in Norfolk, Virginia. Elizabeth, welcome to the show. How can we help?
Hello. It's so exciting to talk to you.
We're excited to talk to you. What's going on in your world?
So I just need some advice. My husband and I are on baby steps 4 and 5.
Cool.
We're hoping to build a home this coming fall. So that's why we're not on 6. We currently rent right now.
Okay.
But I've had some controversy with my current employer, and it's been a difficult last 4 months. A little bit of just burnout on my side and moving towards just, I don't want to say toxic, but it's just been an uncomfortable working environment.
So what's this
But we've
controversy?
I'm currently an assistant manager. I work in healthcare. And it's just, I'm sorry?
I was just making an office reference. Assistant to the regional manager. That's all.
Oh, so I'm in healthcare. I'm an assistant manager, and healthcare is a very difficult climate right now. And my boss and I aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye. We've had some conversations, and it's moved forward, and it's just become a question of my work ethic and whether I'm pulling enough hours, whether I'm meeting the job requirements or not. I've tried to receive it very positively so that I can move forward and be what my team needs me to be in my work environment, but then it's also affecting just how much I'm at home, which is very difficult because I have 3 young children and I'm trying to balance being everywhere I need to be right now.
Yeah. Let's back out 30,000 feet for a second. How are you? You mentioned burnout. You mentioned you got 3 little ones. You mentioned being in a bunch of different places. How are you in this season?
I'm very burned out.
You're cooked.
I've
right.
been a nurse for 15 years.
Okay.
In an emergency department, so I'm cooked.
That's right.
I really am.
You're cooked. Yeah. If we're honest, and I've spent years working with folks in your world. You're cooked before COVID, and this is like nothing else. Right, afterwards, right? The last 2 years have been insanity for nursing professionals. So let's go back into the hospital now. Is the criticism you're receiving fair? And there's a point to why I'm asking you this stuff.
No. It is not.
Okay. Not sometimes, always, when I get chaotic, when I get exhausted, when I am dealing with kid stuff and I don't got to run over here, my wife needs me to do and then it just happens to be the day that one of the folks that I work with here says, you know what, you need to really step it up. They're often right. And as frustrating or as angry as that makes me when they say something, when James is like, hey, Delon, you got to be on time, man. He's right. You know what I mean? But you're saying your boss is not right. And in fact, your boss is contributing to this feeling, not calling out things that are going to help things.
Correct.
Okay. So do you still want to be a nurse?
Some days, not every day.
Yeah. Is that new or is that long standing?
That's long standing.
Okay. So back to your original question, how close are you till the end here?
Well, we're hoping to build in the fall. So our income is a huge driver to this question because we've made more than we've ever made before. Our income is about $175,000 a year. So we're really saving a lot because we have this end goal of finally building the home that we want, which would require us moving and new jobs, new schools, everything.
But Elizabeth, if you build this house and it requires you to die every day to do it, will it be worth it?
I hope so.
I'm telling you right now, it will not be.
Okay.
One of the hardest things about reaching goals is that we go with us. Wherever you end up, you will be there. And if you are fried and
That's
cooked
true.
and exhausted, then you're going to be fried and cooked and exhausted in a brand new fancy house with new schools. You're just going to be more stressed because you had to move and change schools with 3 little ones.
Yes.
I would much rather you see you square your heart and your mind and your professional life up and make it more in line with the reality that 3 kids is thrown into your life, whatever your husband and your relationship looks like. I'd much rather you line those things up and then say, what do I want to do? What do we want to do? And then say, how do we fit our dream goals, which is building a house, buying a boat, whatever, moving to Paris, whatever that is. Can we do that in reality? Do you hear like, just listen back to what you've told us. You're basically sacrificing yourself for this other dream over here.
Yeah.
Have you looked at other jobs? Do you know that this is the only place that you can work that'll pay you this much?
No, I haven't.
I think that's a good
I've
first
been
step.
scared to.
Because I think in your head
Yeah.
you're going, well, if I go to another job, I'm not going to make as much.
Why are you scared to?
Because I've done this for so long. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The devil you know.
If I step out of my comfort zone, I have to learn something else.
Yeah.
But you're capable of that. You're amazing. You can absolutely learn something new. You can start somewhere fresh. You're going to move somewhere fresh anyways, right? You just told us that.
That's true.
So I would start looking. And if it's in the new area that you guys want to live, that's not a bad thing either. And you can rent for there for a little while, maybe a 6-month lease until you can build this dream home. But there's really nothing driving the urgency of this home other than we want to, right?
But there's something
Yes.
driving the urgency of the other side of this equation, which is you cannot keep going like you're going.
It's exhausting.
It is.
Would you take a $10,000 pay cut per year if it meant you weren't in a toxic environment and it slowed down this home process by a month or 2? Would you do it?
Yes.
I think we have our answer. I think you got to do some research and not be afraid of the unknown because you're about to step into it anyways. If you're going to move to a new town with new jobs and new house and all of that stuff. So you can do hard things, Elizabeth.
Can I tell you where I would start with this, Elizabeth, if I'm you? Because I know it feels overwhelming. Have you sat down with your husband and told him, I'm not okay?
We talked about it.
Okay.
But I told him I could push through if I needed to.
Okay. I would love to see you and take him to dinner and you all sit down and have a honest conversation. Because I think you've hinted at it, hoping he would pick up on it and pull the plug on this deal. Or hint at it and say, well, I can, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's time that you are able to lay all the cards out on the table and say, we got 3 kids, we've got this, we've got that, we've got that. You and I, our relationship has changed. Not for better or worse, it's just different now. We got 3 kids. We're both working full time. Things are bananas. And I can't continue at this trajectory. Whether that means I'm getting out of nursing, whether that means I want to stay at home with the kids, whether that means I got to just change hospitals because I can't work with a supervisor anymore and I got to change, whatever that means. I think we needed to sit down on the table with your number 1 fan, your chief partner in life, and say, whew, I'm out. I can't go anymore like this, and I don't know what this means yet, and I promise that I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And then let's build something new together.
Man, I feel for the healthcare workers, John. I think everyone is experiencing some level of what she's experiencing.
It's unbelievable
This
what
is hard.
they've been through.
It's toxic, long hours, no end in sight. Man, I feel for you, Elizabeth. Good luck on your journey. This is The Ramsey Show. It comes from Rick in New Mexico. He says, we're in our early 30s, make $120,000 a year, and we're financially stable. We want to buy a house, but with high prices and interest, our mortgage would be roughly $2,200 a month. We could afford the payments, but that's less we are able to save. My parents own several rentals, are financially stable, and want to buy us a house, so we would just pay them rent of $1,400 a month instead of us buying a house. They said once we pay it off with no interest, they will put my name on the house. But the problem is my father can be controlling, and historically, after doing something nice, he has been known to throw it back in my face down the road if he doesn't get his way, or if we do something he doesn't agree with. Should we take my parents' help or do it on our own?
Rick, you know this. The question you and your wife need to ask yourself is, what's the price of your marriage? And what's the price of your soul? And what's the price of that Thanksgiving dinner when your dad looks across the table and says, why didn't you do this? And you say, well, Dad, and he goes, I bought you a house. What's that all worth? What's that worth? Because the numbers you've laid out for me, it's not worth that. It is not worth that. You make too much money. You're doing too well. For you to subject yourself to somebody else bullying you around just because there's some money attached to it. What do you think?
I'm not doing the strings attached deal, and he's already painting the picture of what his life is going to be like if he does this deal. And so I think you just need to say, hey, thanks so much for the offer. We're going to go our own way and buy our own house, but we appreciate you guys. And you guys make plenty of money. Make $120,000 a year. $2,200 sounds like a very reasonable mortgage payment. And if you feel like it's too high, or for some reason we're not getting all the details here, you can do something called waiting. And you keep saving until you have more down payment to lower that mortgage payment. So do it when you are ready, but don't be bullied into it. Don't be pressured into it, and because that is the worst thing you can do financially.
And let me say this, Rick, and to everybody listening. It's often that I hear situations like this where mom and dad want to help, but there's these subtle strings or really significant strings and all that attached to it. I'm going to give you this, but you got to do this. And if you ever do that, I don't want that life. Right. And then we turn around and feel pressured on the advice side. Yo, why aren't y'all buying a house? Y'all got to buy a house. Y'all just renting, you're just wasting money, just throwing money away, throwing it away. And so if you're not going to take the deal because you don't trust the character of the people involved in the deal, right? A gift won't be a gift. A gift is just another way to put hooks and string into you. Don't also fall prey to their advice and wisdom about how dumb you are with your money. You and your wife sit down and say, what kind of life do we want to create for ourselves? And can we create that life? And what do we got to do to make that thing happen? It might mean, like George said, it's going to take 2 years before we buy a house. Cool. We don't want it we can afford a $2,200 a month payment. We don't want that. We don't ever want a payment more than $1,750 or whatever. Cool. If that's what y'all decide, rock and roll. We're going to rent a little bit longer then and save up a little bit more. We're going to take a few more shifts or whatever that looks like. But don't take wisdom from people that are not trustworthy.
And the other danger of this is you guys pay $1,400 a month for 10 years, and all of a sudden he decides, you know what? I'm actually going to use this as a rental property because we need the money in retirement. And all of a sudden, you've been putting money into this thing that you don't actually own. Right. And so that's super risky. I would not take this deal.
Or little Junior decides he's going to play soccer instead of baseball, and my boys are playing baseball. I'm taking whatever. You don't know what
baseball family.
You don't trust this guy. Yeah. No deal. I keep renting, man. Your marriage and soul are worth it.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Taylor starts this hour in Knoxville. Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dr. John. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I need some help navigating money and family. My question is it wrong for my husband and I to lie about our accomplishments and pretend to be broke in order to financially and emotionally protect ourselves? And I'm happy to give a little context with that.
It's just cowardly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I own that. Yeah.
It is.
How old are you guys? How long y'all been married, Taylor?
So we've been married a little over a year, together for 5. I am 32 and my husband is 35.
So who's the twerp that's going to have a hard time with you succeeding?
It's my family, specifically my mom.
Okay.
So my husband and I have paid off over $100,000 in student loans over the last 3 years.
And your mom will feel entitled to some of your money if she hears you're winning?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Almost like I've talked about this before. Okay.
Okay. And so she uses money to show love, but more as a means of control. And yeah, anytime one of her kids starts making money, she's got her hand out wanting some. And to clarify, she is financially well off and is not in need of any help. And she has actually stolen thousands of dollars from me in the past when I had my very first job when I was 16 years old. And when I confronted her,
we're pretty
she
much
lied and
we're
got
pretty much
mad.
saying mom's got issues.
Yes.
Why do you continue to allow your mom to control you? You're 30s.
Yeah. I want to honor her as my mom.
I don't think that's
but-
true. I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good. It's a good church answer.
Yeah.
I think you're still trying to figure out what you did wrong when you were 9 that your mom would steal from you. And you still think there's a way, there's a thing you haven't done yet that you'll finally do it. You'll finally give her the amount of money. You'll finally do the thing and she'll go, I'm so proud of you and I love you. That's what I think you're chasing.
Yeah.
And I think you wrap it up in words like honor thy father and mother. Honor thy father and mother does not mean
honor their misbehavior.
Exactly.
Yeah. In all honesty, I would love to just cut her off completely. I don't think I'm ready to do that. I think that's what makes it hard.
Here's what you're giving her right now. You've given her money in the past. You've given her your life in the past. Now you're giving her your integrity.
Free rent in your head.
Don't give her your integrity anymore. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
And when she says, well, I want, like, no, we're on a budget. It's a muscle you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to, it's like going to the gym. You just never done squats before. You're going to have to start light, but you're going to have to learn how to do
The
squats.
first time you do it, your heart rate's going to go and your stomach's going to go into your throat. The 80th time you do it, you're just going to be smiling, looking at a poor, pitiful lady who hasn't been able to control her own emotions.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what she is. She's kind of pitiful.
You will never do a thing that makes her finally say,
because she doesn't
I'm
have
proud of
that.
you.
She doesn't have that tool on her kit.
Nope.
She can't do it. She doesn't know how.
Right.
So you're dealing with an incomplete person who's got major gaps, and you cannot have any expectation that she's going to be anything other than that. And you just smile and go, no. I mean, pretend like she had a stroke. Okay, and she was and she was incapable of behaving. You would just look at her and smile and go, gosh, that's a horrible malady you've got, but that still doesn't mean you get to come over here and, throw rocks through my window.
Yeah. And
You didn't hear any of that.
No, you don't want to so bad. Why?
You just kept driving.
Why? Can I? Okay, I'm gonna cut to it.
You're scared.
You're gonna haunt your marriage.
Yeah.
And at some point, your husband, if he hasn't already, is gonna ask, "Why her over me?
Mm-hmm.
Why her over our future that we're trying to build together?"
Yeah, she's taking up a lot of space in your head. So this may be you guys. You may need to sit down and talk to somebody and work this through, because this is a mother-daughter dysfunction that's pretty serious, and it's just manifesting itself in the money. But there's a lot of other parts of this, and so. But the truth is, you're not going to have peace hiding as a 30-year-old hiding like you're some kind of misbehaving teenager. I can't tell my mom I got good grades. I mean, come on, what? So, because she does not have the capacity. She's a diminished capacity, as if she's had a stroke. We'll just call it that, okay? And it affected her ability to be a good mom. And so you just treat her like that, and it's kind of sad and it's kind of pitiful. But it doesn't mean I can't tell her the truth, Mom. If it comes up, but you don't need to go in there and go da 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 da. Well, look what we did, because that's not going to do it either. But if it comes up, you just go, well, hey, we paid off some money. But I don't sit down with anybody and go, look at what I did.
Yeah, how does that even come up in your house?
Yeah, really.
Well, whenever me and my husband go, which is less and less frequently now, if I need to go to the restroom or leave the room, they will corner my husband and straight up say, "How much money did you make this year? What are you making now?"
Hold on, but all you say is, "I had a good year." I'm not going to give you those numbers, and you smile real big.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Or when you come out of the bathroom, go, "Hey, Mom, Dad, we don't talk about our private financial matters anymore. We don't put those numbers out into the world. Those are private. Those are ours." And if they can't honor that boundary, then they're asking you, "We don't want you here."
Yeah.
Right?
That could be the exit that I'm looking for.
No, it could be, but that would be them running you off, not you yelling, "I'm leaving until you learn to behave." That's not what we're telling you, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my sex life with you. I don't want to talk about the dollar amount we made last year. I don't want to talk about any number of things. That's for us. It's not for you.
As I started having grandbabies, I have had way more information from my children about the arrival of children
I'm sure
and
you
how
have.
they got here than I wanted to know. I'm just telling you. So I just assumed we went her direction and just said, y'all just keep that to yourself. I really don't want to know some of this. I just want to see the baby when it comes. Thank you very much.
I'm happy.
I don't need to know about the practice.
Nope.
Thank you very much. Nope. It's all good. But, oh, my gosh. It's the same stuff. You're exactly right. Right.
I'm not going to tell you about that stuff.
Oh, no. Papa Dave don't want to know.
Nope.
Papa Dave don't want to know. I'm just saying.
I want to meet the baby.
I just show him. Just tell me what the name is and tell me what the sex is when it's appropriate to tell me, and then tell me when I can tell people that, and then I will. And don't tell me unless you want me to tell somebody, unless you tell me not to tell them.
I need America to know I had a great joke that I didn't just use.
You didn't use it. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Josiah's with us in Omaha. Hi, Josiah. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I have a Vanguard retirement fund that tracks, it's just a mutual, I always get confused, ETFs and mutual funds, but it tracks with the stock markets. And what I was reading is that we're going to enter into a bear market, and that one article suggested I do dollar cost averaging, invest in commodities. So I was looking at a mutual fund that just temporarily.
Did you read the article that said you were supposed to send it all to Dave Ramsey?
Or John Deloney?
Yeah,
because that article's out there too.
Article,
no, it's not. It's not out there. But just because you read it on the internet doesn't mean it's right. As a matter of fact, that probably invalidates it.
That's true. So otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But it would still be. I know that in times of volatile times, you're not supposed to have knee-jerk emotional reactions. So I still want to continue to invest, but.
He who jumps off a roller coaster in the middle of the ride is he who gets hurt. Finish the ride, my brother.
Exactly.
Finish the ride, my brother.
So continue to invest, but what my question, I guess, is
of the 10,000 millionaires that we studied that became millionaires, the number of them that jumped out of their investments into commodities because they read an article and that made them wealthy when things were scary in the news was precisely zero. None of them did that. None of them did that. They kept investing, and they kept investing, and they kept investing when it was scary, when it was wild, when it was fun, when it was good, when people are smiling, when they're frowning, when they're cussing, and when they're singing joyful noises. All the time. They just keep on investing. Just keep on investing. Just keep on investing. You can call it dollar cost averaging if you want to call it that, but that's not the advantage to it. The advantage of it is you don't stop investing, and you don't change horses in the middle of a flood. While you're in the middle of the stream, you're going to drown. No. And quit reading stupid butt articles on the internet because it'll cause you to do this stuff.
Oh, man.
I had a friend that got cancer, or he's got a cancer scare.
Yeah.
May have cancer, may not. And I said, listen.
Do not.
Listen, the cancer might get you, but I will 100% guarantee you I'm going to kill you if you Google and start reading about cancer on the freaking internet, because you are going to get bad information, a bunch of goobs on there with opinions about tomato seeds or whatever else they dream up, and I'm going to pound you if you open your computer and type in the word cancer.
There is whenever I see articles like this, I always go to what's the incentive? And there's somebody who's got a commodities trading office that makes money on the exchange that looks for precisely folks like you, Josiah, who are trying to pay attention, who love their families, who are a little bit scared, and they say, hey, come over here. And you're going to jump off and you're going to give them your money.
Well, listen,
do it.
The other thing is this. Very, very seldom do you actually get conned by a real con man.
Right.
But you can get conned by an enthusiastic ignoramus. And there's a whole lot more of those than there are con men.
You just described social media.
I did.
You did.
In one phrase.
One phrase.
This is The Ramsey Show. Jacob's going to start this hour off in Fargo, North Dakota. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Mr. Ramsey. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
Great. So I'm a 20-year-old college student, and I recently finished my sophomore year of college, and I'm currently studying to become a nurse. I have roughly 2 years left of my program, and I'll be able to graduate debt-free in 2024.
Good for you.
In addition to that, thank you. In addition to that, I currently work as a CNA at a large hospital in the Fargo area, and I was recently approached by my manager who came up with an offer for me, and she presented an offer where I would be able to work at this hospital for 3 years after graduation. In addition to that, I will receive a $30,000 sign-on bonus. Given that I'm only halfway through this program, I'm a little hesitant at the moment to take this offer, but I'm curious if this is something I should entertain.
So the only advantage to you is $30,000.
Correct. And I've had a really strong working relationship with this hospital, and I do enjoy working at this hospital.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Have you looked at options in your area for other hospitals and what the pay would be?
I have a little bit. Currently, this hospital pays about $2 less an hour than other hospitals, but it's a very good starting wage for nurses in this area, in this part of the country. So it's I consider it to be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm kind of with you. Number one, let's just establish nursing, incredible career path. And as long as I've been doing this show for 30 years, there's been a shortage of nurses.
Correct.
So you've always been able to land a job, and lots of different kinds of jobs, actually, within the nursing field. And so a lot of flexibility, always a need for you, that kind of a thing. So if that's kind of our baseline, then off of that, I don't think I'm tying up myself. You don't need the money. You've got a way to work your way through school with no debt. You told us that. Way to go. Good job. And so the money's just kind of gravy on the biscuit. It'd be nice, but it's not like oh, I cannot have to borrow student loans if I do this. I might think about it then, but in this case, you got your way mapped out to go all the way through, and then you're a free agent upon graduation. I'll bet you could get more than $30,000 at that point.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the part that I'm struggling with is it's really hard to predict what would be out there in 2 years if we're at a peak now, if this is a good time to take an offer. But I agree with what you're saying here.
I think there'll be again, I'm going to establish the fact in my mind anyway, anecdotally, I don't have research to back it up, but that there's pretty much always a shortage of nurses. And so that means that you will be able to land something, and probably something with a signing bonus. Wouldn't doubt it a bit. So
cool.
I kind of think that offer or better might be on the table at graduation. I might be wrong. We're gambling a little bit.
What's the harm in waiting until graduation?
Well, $30,000 if they don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
You miss out on that if we're wrong, right? If it's off the table. But the way I answer questions on this show is if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do? I'm going to bet that there's going to be as good a deal or better on the table, and I'm going to say thanks. Let's talk as I get a little bit closer to graduation.
Okay. That's the advice I needed to hear, so thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you calling. Man, I got to tell you, George, this is the sharpest bunch of 20-year-olds I run into. They're everywhere. Of course, I'll call the show, and, my gosh. I mean, he has a question written out, but, but still.
It gives me hope.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
People actually want to work out there.
When I was 20, nobody's offering me a signing bonus. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. All right.
Today's question comes from Thomas in Missouri. As a Christian, I feel like I have a duty to take care of my employees. I have a small business with 9 employees. They currently make minimum wage. If I were to raise their wages to a living wage, then my profit margin would decrease. This is a business I worked really hard at for so many years. I think God would want me to benefit from my hard work now. What should I do? Okay. This is an onion here, Dave. Number one, businesses deal with this all the time. And when they raise wages, they have a decision to make. Do you want your profit margin to stay the same? And so if so, then you have to raise your costs. And you have to weigh that with the marketplace and what your customers will or will not pay. And this is the dance that a lot of small business people have to deal with, and have had to deal with it and have been hurt from it. So I don't think it's a choice here between God wants you to benefit from your hard work now and not doing what you want to do, which is pay your employees more. I think you can do both, but you're going to have to square raising some prices or cutting costs in other areas, if that's even an option. This is hard to answer. I want to say that everything I just said is very difficult to answer that via a static question where we can't answer a lot of questions. Ask more questions.
Yeah, the buzzword that's the problem in this is living wage.
And who determines that?
Yeah, well, I can tell you who determines it. Me.
Right, that's my point, not what
I'm
culture
the employer.
is saying.
No, I'm the employer. Here's the thing, okay? If I pay $12 an hour, or if I pay whatever you want to, whatever minimum wage is in your area, okay, and a guy comes in and you do a budget on the guy, and he has 5 kids, and he needs $90,000 a year to pay his bills and feed his kids, I can't, as a Christian, hire him for that job because I can't pay him $90,000 to do that job. And $90,000 for him is a living wage because that's what it takes to feed his 5 kids. Okay? If I have a 19-year-old who lives with his parents, comes in and is looking for part-time work, and any money he makes is going in his pocket because he has basically no personal overhead, and $12 an hour is what I can afford as the employer, then that is his living wage. So this idea that there is a universal living wage is absolute horse crap. There is no such thing because it takes families in different situations, in different locales, a different amount to live. It takes a family of 4 more to live in Manhattan than it does in Nashville. So the living wage would be different for a family of 4 or a family of 1 or a family of 14. The living wage changes on that. And so what we do at Ramsey as Christians, we have a responsibility to take care of our employees. And one of the responsibilities is not hiring someone who can't afford to live on what we are paying for that position. So you are disqualified if you can't make it on what we are paying for that position, regardless of if you want the job or you're qualified for the job. We will run a budget with you because we care about you, and it is our responsibility once you are here to make sure you are cared for. And we do take care of our team. Beyond measure, we take care of our team.
That's correct.
Way beyond measure, we take care of our team. But we do not hire people who cannot afford to live on what we pay for that position.
Yeah.
And that is our responsibility. That's your responsibility. So, we had one lady go, based on your inappropriate request for my personal budget information, I'm going to withdraw my name from future employment consideration. To which we said, people that talk like that don't even work here. So we're not doing, it's great. Yeah. See ya, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the butt. It's good. We don't need you. But the reason for the inappropriate request of the personal information is to protect you from you. Because some people will take a job that they can't afford to live on the income because they're so desperate for a job.
Right.
And but this idea that there's some kind of generic living wage out there floating around that you have a moral obligation to that's a singular number is absolute horse crap. Yeah. So you're paying minimum wage for 9 employees. Are any of them trying to actually live on that with a family? If so, why did they take that job, or why did you hire them into something they can't afford to live on? And that's a bigger question than do you raise your wages to meet this?
Right. And here's the other thing. You have to look at your business model and the market and go, based on whatever product or service I am selling, because it's one of the two, this is what the market will allow me to do. And I may not ever be able to truly have all 9 of them on what would be called a full living wage. You might be in the hourly space, and that's what you have. And thus you've got turnover. You have younger people working for it. That's just part of your business.
I had a guy come in the other day and said a company offered him $80,000 more to do the exact same thing he's doing with us. And we said,
fantastic.
We'll help you pack your desk.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
We cannot make a return on paying you $80,000 more than you're being paid now. So you're going to be working at the new place, my friend, and we'll help you go. Because we have to make a return on investment here, or the rest of the team doesn't eat.
Right.
Because their checks don't clear. There's a responsibility all the way around. So yes, God would want you to take care of your team, and He would want you to benefit from your hard work now. These are not incompatible things.
That's correct. Yes.
They're not incompatible.
That's correct.
That's the point of it. And don't fall into this socialistic living wage crap. That was Karl Marx. That was not Jesus. Okay? There's a difference. Chris is with us in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there. How's your guys' day going?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So I was wanting to get some advice from you. I'm in the military. I've been in about 18 years, and I'm getting ready to retire here in about 2 years. So with that being said, my source of income is going to be changing a little bit. And over the past year, my wife and I, we've paid off all of our credit card debt and our loan debt. I think the only thing that we have left is about $95,000 on a house that I just bought last year. So with that being said, part of the way that I was able to pay off part of my house, it was about $205,000. I paid $105,000 down payment. I was able to save up some money while I was out on mission. And since my wife and I have gotten married a few months ago, we have not taken a honeymoon or anything like that. I was wanting to know if you thought it was prudent to save up for a honeymoon or some type of vacation, or if we should try to pay off as much of the house as humanly possible in the next 2 years and then go after a later honeymoon after that is completed.
Do you have a fully funded emergency fund right now?
Right now, we have about $2,000 saved up. My wife just started a brand new career a few weeks ago, and she and I, both of our incomes together are about $100,000. And she's working on saving up so that way we can have probably a 4 or 5 month emergency fund, and then after that we were wanting to chip away at the mortgage. So we're still a couple months, 2 or 3 months away from that. After that, I was just wanting to know what you guys thought of.
Thank you for your service.
Well,
now, how much? What are you talking about spending on the honeymoon?
We're looking at maybe $5,000.
And you're going to do that now or after the emergency fund is done, or when? When are you planning on doing that?
After the emergency fund, but I wanted to know what you thought of doing it before the mortgage was paid off, or if we should.
I would.
You would?
Yeah. And that's that. In other words, like that's by Christmas, like this fall, you go on your honeymoon.
Okay.
Yeah. How old are you?
I am 36.
Okay. Cool. Again, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. This is just the. This is not the financial advisor. This is the old husband that's been married 40 years. It's a really good investment to do this honeymoon thing.
Okay.
And it sounds like y'all have been working really hard. The fact that you put down such a big down payment, you've paid off all your debts, you've been doing a lot of things right and really committed to it. So it's like once you hit baby steps 4 through 6, you're still working hard, you're still following the process, but you can breathe a little bit more. You can take that honeymoon, go on a vacation.
Exactly right. After you've gotten baby step 3 in place, you're a debt-free except the house, you have the emergency fund. 4, 5, and 6, just like you just said, is where you save up and do some other stuff. And that means like that's where you buy a couch, or you go on a vacation, or you pay cash for an upgrade in car, or whatever it is. You're going to do all of that between baby step 3 while you're doing 4, 5, and 6. And what that means is it's going to reduce every time you do one of those consumption things that you do need to do at that stage. it's going to reduce the speed at which you pay off your mortgage. And so we teach you to be intense, baby steps 1 through 3, getting out of debt and having the emergency fund. Nothing happens there. No vacation, no eating out. Beans and rice, rice and beans. And once you move past your emergency fund being in place, you move from intense to intentional. And that's what we're saying here. Now we're intentional. And that's exactly the way Chris was asking the question. So he's ahead of the game.
And I love like the fact that he is so motivated to pay off the house. Like, don't lose that motivation. We're not saying that, but you can take a honeymoon, breathe a little bit, but definitely keeping that intentionality is awesome.
We have Claudia in Detroit to start us off. Hey, Claudia, welcome to the show.
Hi there. I want you to know I realized I have learned much from you and your father. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. How can we help today?
And George, I'm not ignoring you. I've learned
it's fine. I was just enjoying the sentimental moment between you guys. I love it. How can we help?
Here's my dilemma. My mother's 84. She has an $86,000 interest-only loan on her home. I've been trying to help her since my dad passed 6 years ago to really be tight on everything. She is tight. She is not a spendthrift, but the numbers are hard. And, you know, with an interest-only, the variable rate, we knew it was coming, right? We knew it was going to raise. I checked into last year trying to get it refinanced, and the problem was she couldn't afford a traditional payment of a true mortgage. So my question is, should I take money out of my mutual fund to pay it off? Assuming that then, of course, I would first cash out my emergency fund and the savings we have. Sorry, but you can imagine this is emotional.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't really know, like, what would be the tax ramifications for me? Like, if I take that money out, then where do I go from there? Is that going to affect me? I talked to her today. I said, Mom, I could, you and I could do DoorDash where I'm truly doing it, but I'm driving and she's with me. So she's going to have it on her income level, right? She's 84.
Yeah.
I've got 3 brothers. They all help. They all are very good. We're united, but at the same time, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what's the smartest thing.
I'm so sorry, Claudia. Well, number one, putting yourself in a terrible financial position is not the solution. So we have to find more options here. You looked into refinancing. Could we downsize her? Is there an apartment or condo that we could move her into with a much more reasonable mortgage that then maybe the kids can help with?
You couldn't find anything cheaper than what she's paying in the interest only. I mean, right now it's like, even though it went up, it's $438. It went from $274 in January to now $438. But obviously, they raised rates again yesterday. So
the problem is with the interest-only mortgage, she's never going to touch the principal.
Yeah, believe me, I know that.
So
get
it seems like it's a good number, but we're not making any progress at all.
How is she eating, Claudia? Like, where is she getting? Where does she have money to live off of?
Social Security and a very small, like $260 pension.
Okay.
So what does that add up to per month?
So we're talking $25.50 a month.
Okay.
What other bills does she have?
So she does have the car, and I tried to not get her into a new lease, but we couldn't find something that would work for her. And,
how often is she driving around at 84?
Every day. I would say she goes somewhere every day,
Like doctor or grocery store or hanging out with friends? What's she doing?
Church, right. Grocery store, doctor, church. She goes and walks. She's very conscious about staying as healthy as she can and active.
I think we got to get out of this lease. Does she have any other debt?
No other debt.
Okay. What if the kids could scrape together and buy her a used car and we get out of this lease situation to free up some of that income and see what she could afford then as far as housing?
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. I wish we would have done it before she put the new one, but yeah, that might work.
Because at this point, we can't just let her do whatever she wants while we finance it because she's broke. And so this
no,
is
and
gonna...
she's not that way. I mean, my parents are godly people, but they had a major flaw is in money, and they laid up treasure for us in heaven where it will never be destroyed. And I get totally what you're saying. There's no excuse making going on here, but
taking
I
out
don't
a
wanna
lease at
discount
84 is not helping anyone, especially herself. Does she know that this lease is hurting her?
Yeah, I don't think you wouldn't be able to have a conversation without her knowing that. Yeah, she knows they screwed up major on finances.
That's okay. We're not here to shame her. I'm just here to help her get out of this lease to free up her income, because that payment could be helping her afford housing.
Right.
So what is that payment every month?
The lease payment is let's see here. That'd be $314 a month.
So that extra $314 coming in every month, would that help her afford a mortgage if we switch to a conventional mortgage?
It was over $1,100 when I did it last fall when rates were lower.
What is the mortgage size?
$86,000.
What's the equity in the home? If she sold it today, how much could she sell it for today?
On Zillow, it says 130. I would say we clear it by 120 for sure. That's what I say.
Man, Claudia, I mean, just given her situation, everything, how terrible this mortgage is. I mean, I would be tempted just to sell, get her out, and free up her life out of this terrible mortgage. Fix the car situation, and then look to see, what is something just, and again, she's in her early 80s, so she still could have a great 10 years left, right? Another decade if she's healthy. So finding something for, we have 10 years left, just as a math equation to look to see, what's a small condo, nothing fancy, anything.
An in-law suite with one of the kids, if she's able-bodied,
yes,
she's driving around.
Because Claudia, yes, cashing out any retirement on your end would not be smart. Wiping out your emergency fund and putting your family at risk, which is so generous, and I hear your heart in it, is so good, but it doesn't help the situation because she's still going to have this terrible loan still attached to her that she's going to have to make payments on, but it's not even hitting the principal. So if I were her and you guys, I'd sell everything, the car and the house, get the equity, and go find something small.
Mike's with us in Tampa. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, how are you? Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
I have been listening to you guys now for about a month, and I am absolutely hooked. I'm on a travel nursing assignment here in Miami, so I have nothing better to do with my free time but listen to you guys. My wife, I'm trying to get on board with everything, and the thought of us getting out of debt is scaring her to death. However, with that being said, last year we sold our home, and we were able to profit around $60,000 on the sale of the home. We spent $10,000 on some debt, and we have $50,000 sitting in our savings account, hopefully ready to put a down payment on another home. We have a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, that is trying to convince us, and I'm not for or against it, I just don't know, I'm very neutral on it, trying to convince us to move that $50,000 out of our account as soon as we can and put it into precious metals to protect it or lose, but to protect it from anyone that might be trying to come in and steal it from us, if you will, from our checking and savings account. What are your thoughts on that?
You've got to be kidding me. This guy's a conspiracy theorist from now on, isn't he?
Sounds like my friends.
Just kidding. Again, I don't know. Very neutral.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it. I haven't done any research.
Well, I got to tell you, he's gone
down.
He's gone down the rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland. I mean, there's just the chances of somebody stealing your $50,000 out of a checking account out of a bank in the United States of America is very close to zero. That's absurd.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I mean, and the chances of you losing your butt putting this into precious metals is very high. It's a good chance you're going to lose your butt. And so really, really bad advice. Any other advice this guy gives you, don't take it either, because he's really bad at advice. So are you talking about buying a home here in the U.S.? You're U.S. citizens or what? I'm hearing the accent.
Yes, I'm a green card holder. I'm, of course, eligible to purchase a home, but we have a little bit of debt that we need to pay off cars and 401k loan and such. But we were wondering, should we, save the $50,000 to put down on a home before we get out of our vehicles and stuff like that, or should we take the $50,000 and put that on our vehicles and then try to cash flow on the home? Or just again, we're new
How
to
much
this.
debt do you have?
So I would say probably 70,000.
And what's your household income?
About, it's difficult to say right now, but probably this year I'm probably scheduled to make about 120.
Great. Okay. What we would tell you to do is to become debt-free as soon as possible. Build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then build up your down payment, which will be fairly easy to do when you don't have any payments anymore. So no precious metals under any circumstances. Yes, pay off debt, become debt-free. It is the shortest distance between where you are and becoming wealthy. Appreciate you listening, Mike. Don't listen to this guy anymore. He's not smart.
Let's go to Josh in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Josh, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Talking about your fears in life, so I feel like it's a great introduction here.
Perfect. Bring it on. Come on, dude.
So I'm active duty, Army. My wife and I and 2 kids are stationed at Fort Bragg, and we're brand new to starting financial peace. We started about Christmas of last year, and I felt like we've always been financially savvy, but until starting your course, figuring out that I've got a negative net worth that was pretty revealing.
That'll do it to you.
Josh, first, man, brother, thank you for blessing me and my family with your service. I'm grateful for you. And, dude, I remember distinctly, one of my best friends in the world, his name's Todd, he's a banker, when he did my net worth with me, and it was negative, and he laughed so hard, he almost threw up. He was laughing so hard. I was in disbelief, man. So I remember that moment, man.
It's a good friend.
I'm pretty good. Nope, not.
Well, hey, that's step one.
That's right. That's right.
Step one. You're doing great, man.
So what's your circumstance, brother?
Yeah, so we just started Financial Peace Christmas. Well, November of last year, I bought a 2022 Toyota 4Runner.
Attaboy.
They always make the bad decision right before they join Financial Peace. I love it. Okay.
Right before repenting, right? All right, so it's about a $47,000 truck. I financed 37, and I had 20,000 in the bank. And so, of course, very first thing after we started doing Financial Peace, although my wife was pretty apprehensive about it, I threw all but $1,000 at it. And so I've got 17,000 remaining on it. Now, where things get a little bit scary or sketchy for me is I've got a pending religious exemption with this COVID vaccine. And the threat is looming that they're going to separate those of us that get denied exemptions in June or July. And so I'm paying off right now about $3,200 a month towards this truck. Our net take home is about $5,300 a month. So at $17,000 owed on this, I can have it paid off in about 5.5 months. Or should I sell the truck and I could get about $32,000 in pocket by a $12,000, get from point A to point B.
You can only get $32,000 for this truck?
I guarantee you can get more than that. Guarantee.
No, sorry. Maybe I didn't express the numbers right. So if I can sell it for 50, or even sell it what I bought it at. Let's say I sell it for 57.
You're saying you'll net $32,000.
Exactly. I'll net 32. And then what I spend, let's say $10,000, $12,000 on a vehicle that's safe for my family, and then I've got back to having $20,000 back in the bank for, our 3 to 6 month emergency fund.
If you get separated at June and July, are you going to lose this income?
Yes, and that's where things are scary for us because.
Okay.
I mean,
what's your household income?
So right now. Well, I make gross $5,400, but we live on base, so I bring in $3,500 because they take away your
housing
BAA,
allowance. Yeah.
your housing
But
pay, right?
this car feels like it's a large part of your world net worth income.
The car?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's like, I mean, I feel the whole reason we bought this vehicle is because, you know, I've tinkered around on $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 vehicles, and my wife's like, "Hey, I'm tired of driving these," and so, you know, I just finished a special operations training here, and so I'm thinking, oh man, I'm just rode the bus straight to entitlement and was like, yeah, I deserve this nice truck.
Yep.
And now I
dude,
got 40
there is no group of people that I know of that are more awesome, more brilliant, and make more ridiculous car choices than my friends who are in the service. Like, and you know that, dude. Hey, at least you didn't get a Jeep with big tires, so you wore the family car. So good for you,
Josh.
Hey,
let's skip to the good stuff, Josh. Sell the truck, man.
Yeah, I want to take what might happen in June or July off the table. Okay. That's clouding this thing. You might lose your income, and there's a reality to that. And if you think in any job, for any reason that, hey, come summer, I might be out of a job, then obviously you need to be doing what's best for you and your family. Like, what's that going to look like? How am I going to earn a living? All that. Let's take that off the table right now. George just nailed it. This is too much car for your household income right now, whether you had this or not. You got a $50,000 car and a $60,000 income. It's too much as is. So I would tell you to sell it. If you told me I got into special ops team, I'm going to get deployed, but I'm going to be there for the rest of my life and making $65,000, I would tell you to sell the car anyway. And I know your wife doesn't want to keep driving that. I get that. Y'all have a dollar amount situation that you got to deal with, a reality.
You gotta think about it this way. You said you're tired of driving the car, but you're about to be tired of being broke, man.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather you be tired of driving the car.
Yep.
And so make a good decision for your family. One day it can be your goal to get that car again when it makes sense for your income and your family, but right now you got a mess to clean up.
Mike, how can we help?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, you bet. What's happening?
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, I love this one. That's
well on my way to debt-free living. Only because listening to you guys over the years, I appreciate it so much.
You bet.
So my question is, back in my stupid finance times, like 2005, 2007, I made some really dumb business decisions, I feel. I have one outstanding debt from a company I probably shouldn't mention. So there was like a $37,000 debt balance that I was kind of wheeling with them about 3 years ago. About a year and a half ago, I was working with a company I was trying to settle. I was trying to pitch them like $18,000 to settle on the $37,000. They denied it. We kind of lost contact about a year and a half ago. Recently received a letter from them. They're willing to settle this whole thing for like $5,000. This is a business line of credit. I am the owner of the company. So I'm just need some advice as to if you were me, would you follow through and pay that $5,000 or just tell them to go jump in a lake?
Well, did you take out the amount of debt? The 37?
It's certainly my debt, yes. But as I said, they hadn't contacted me. They kind of lost communication with them. Wouldn't do the 18. Now coming back for 5. I guess I just need some advice which direction to go.
I would be grateful it's at 5, and I would stop losing sleep over it and pay them the 5 and move on with my life. But I would not just ignore this and tell them to kick rocks and pound sand. I mean, you took out the debt. You signed your name on the paper.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
you do the thing, have the integrity to just go, all right. It was a long time ago. I could probably ignore it and have it go away, but, man, I'm going to sleep better at night knowing I did the right thing. So you're so close, man.
Yeah, and there's nothing on my credit report regarding this. Nothing. They haven't sent me in or done anything like that.
Oh, good.
And that's why I'm like, where I'm at right now. I'm more than willing to take responsibility for it. I just, like I said, I've never been in this situation and wanted to kind of
just be sure to get it in writing that this thing is clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That you have no more relationship with them. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and there's this, I love that he's asking the question. I love that he's willing to be transparent to go, okay, do I do this or do I just say, forget it, man? It's
not on my record.
The statute of limitations, and he's making and there's just something that it does for your soul to settle this thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, on one side there's the integrity and character of,
of course.
I took out the debt. On the other side, it really does free you. And you don't realize the weight that these situations have in our minds, on us physically. I mean, it's absolutely incredible once you really look at it.
Yeah,
So
it really is.
I'm doing it, Ken. Getting
Yeah,
rid of the debt
I
once and
would
for all.
too.
Tommy's in Cincinnati. Hey, Tommy, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thank you guys for having me, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
Sure. So I'm just kind of first and foremost, I'm grateful to be on the call. My wife and I, newly debt-free. Thank you guys for your leadership there and your guidance. Between the two of us, we make roughly $138,000 per year. I have been in a job. I'm 35 years old for about 15 years with the federal government, working for a government agency. And at 30 years, so at the time I'm 50, I'll be eligible for a monthly annuity or pension. Kind of growing up, I've heard of my grandparents having pensions, so on and so forth. They obviously are doing well, but aside from them, I haven't really encountered anyone with a pension. So I have this kind of perfect, ideal picture of what it's like to have a pension, and especially at the age of 50, just kind of enticing. Well, as of
You're how old now again?
I'm 35 years old, sir.
Okay, so 15 more years. Okay.
Yep. Well, today I was just offered another job, working in the private sector, making about $40,000 to $50,000 more, depending on the bonus, but an annual base salary of about $40,000 more per year. And just kind of curious, which way would you lean on going? That would bring our household income to roughly $80,000 per year.
I thought you were getting a potential raise.
He did, 50,000.
Okay, so that
From
last part,
130 to 180, right?
Oh,
Correct.
you said
Yep.
80. Oh, okay. I thought you said 80 for a second. Well, so let's remove the money from the conversation. When you heard about this job opportunity, okay, I understand the bump, and it's in the private sector, but do you get excited about the actual work itself and then where it might lead?
Yes, I guess. Yes and no. Yes, and just in terms of doing something different, right? I've been doing my current job for 15 years. On the younger side of things,
sure,
but really don't know a whole lot else.
All right, let me ask you this: what's
Hmm?
your enjoyment level of your government job right now, on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being suck and 10 being you love it.
I would say 8. I like it pretty well.
So here's the deal. Number one, I wouldn't stay in any job for any pension, just for the pension. The pension to me would never be the reason I would stay. All right. And the good news is you got an 8. That's a pretty high level of enjoyment. Most Americans aren't experiencing an 8 in their work. So that's good. On the other hand, going to the private sector with an opportunity to move up the ladder and make more money, I would do that in regards to just staying for a pension. So you're kind of in this middle area for me. There's not a clear winner because you could take this job, the private sector job, make more money, even have an opportunity for advancement. But if you don't enjoy the work and it's just, I'm doing it because it's something different, let me tell you something. You got about 40% of people who changed jobs in the last 2 years regret changing their jobs because the paycheck wore off, the promotion wore off, and they realized they were better off where they were. And that concerns me. Your answer of, it's just something different. Well, once the different way wears off, now you could be stuck. So
what do you do now?
Like what agency?
No, I mean, what's your day
work-
job? What's your title? What do you do?
Yeah, so I am like a customer service person working for a state agency, or a federal agency that helps with grants.
So you're in customer service.
Okay, and so you would be doing what at the new place?
I would be working for a telecommunications company, working with local municipalities and managing their contracts.
So kind of in the same field.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
So theoretically, you could have an 8 on the enjoyment meter at this new job as well, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
I think you need to dig in a little bit more, because it's a no-brainer for me. If you were to tell me that you could enjoy the private sector job and it provides you a ladder for financial and professional growth, that's a no-brainer to me to take the private sector job.
If you've got as good an environment or better you've got as good a chance of progressing or better, and your level of enjoyment is as good or better, 100% take the new job.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the pension versus 50 grand is an easy decision.
Yes.
Let's just say 15 years you're talking about sitting there waiting on this pension. 15 years of 50 grand is called 750 grand. That'll build you a pension, my man.
For sure.
Self-induced, self-owned, self-run, self-everything, and
That's
you're
correct.
going to make a lot more money in the private sector than your pension would ever even come close to. It's secure. Now, listen, there's nothing secure. Your position is only as secure as you are. Your ability to go get something is your security, and you've already proven that. So, yeah, as long as the company is solid, there's not a bunch of toxic environment, and you're not just going just for the money. The people that have had the regret went just for the money, and they ignored the other variables, and they stepped in it.
Yep. That's exactly right. So they get there and they realize, wait a second, I was really excited about the paycheck bump and maybe a nice new title, but I don't enjoy coming into work.
Yeah, these people, their values are screwed up.
Yeah, they may treat you like you're just a commodity instead of a human being.
Because
There's
you
a lot of
acted like
factors.
one. Hello.
Oh.
You were able to be purchased.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. They dangled the carrot and you went after it.
If you act like a commodity, then guess what? They might treat you like a commodity, and you might sign up for being a commodity.
Yep.
And then you get dumped on the street the first time they decide they're going to raise profits by decreasing payroll. That's called layoffs in corporate America for no reason other than increasing profits. And they do it every day. I've been announcing them left and right like crazy. So that's the thing you don't want to get into. If you've got a solid company, they're going to treat you well. You feel like your enjoyment is there. Your chances of progressing in the field are just as good or better. You're never trade a pension or benefits for that.
That's
Always take the upside.
Always.
Yeah, the purported security will always let you down.
Well, I mean, we have an investment strategy that you've been teaching for decades, and it works. And that's what we're talking about here. The pay raise plus you using that strategy, you're going to get further, faster than the pension ever would get you.
Yeah, I mean, 50 grand, 750 in 15 years.
That adds up.
Before you're eligible for the pension, you made an extra $750,000.
Yeah.
That's not counting any raises you would have gotten over and beyond what the federal government is going to give you. So take the job if all things are equal. That's the answer to the equation.
Yeah. So many
But
people in
don't take the
government
job without making sure all things are equal.
That's the issue. Like, you got to dig. And it's as simple as like talking to people who work there or talking to somebody who knows somebody that works over there. Now, again, you don't take one squeaky wheel and say, oh, well, this is a horrible company. You got to get real feedback, get real mature people who are going to tell you what it's like there. And that is not hard to find out, but you got to be intentional.
Yeah, I mean, you can find people that don't like anything.
That's right.
I'll guarantee you. I mean, we have an incredible culture. Ramsey Solutions is a world-class place to work, but you can find people that are pissed off that used to work here.
I've read nonsensical, straight-up lies about our organization as if I wasn't in the building. I've read this crap on social media, and all people do this. People, squeaky wheels, will do that at any company, not just Ramsey, any company. And it's like, you got to talk to enough people to know whether or not we got somebody who's angry or somebody who's hurt or straight-up crazy, because I've seen it all.
And you can find somebody displeased with anything, and some of them have an agenda, axe to grind. So
that's
anyway,
right.
Us included.
That's right.
And in it, that place. So don't just take one.
That's right.
Do your homework. Make sure that you're not just trading your soul for money. That's what you don't want to do. But if you can keep your soul and have a great work environment and make more money, yes, trade 50 grand for a pension in about a nanosecond. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. John is starting off this hour in Chicago. Hey, John, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. What's up?
So I was a sucker, and I bought a motorhome when I got a remote job that pays a lot more. And, of course, I traveled all over the United States in the last couple of years. But I realized that I want to get out of debt. I want to get away from that. And, of course, I want to get rid of the motorhome, and as that seems to be hard without, just trying to sell it. So I'm just seeing what my options are.
What do you owe on the mobile home?
$70,000.
And what's it worth?
It's worth probably about between 60 and 65.
Okay, that's not too bad.
You have any money?
Don't have much money.
How much do you have?
I had about $5,000 that I could put towards it.
So you could close the gap and sell it.
Yeah, and that was my first initial thought too. I had thoughts about just letting it go back to the bank, but I wasn't for sure what to do with that.
Oh, you don't let it go back.
I would not turn it in. No, don't turn it in.
No. Here's the problem, okay? If it's worth 65 and you voluntarily repossess it, you're going to have a repossession on your record, number one.
Oof.
Number two, they're going to sell it for 40 on the repo lot, and they're going to sue you for the difference. So you control the sale price, and you cover the difference. You'll get a lot more for it, and you won't have as much difference to cover or as much hassle. So now what you've got is the hassle of selling a $65,000, $70,000 motorhome, which is a pain in the butt to do. But you can do it.
Oh, definitely.
You can do it. And it's a whole lot less of a pain in the butt than having a repo and having them chase you around for $40,000.
Yeah, because that's a funny thing you say that, because surrendering a car or turning it in sounds a lot better than repo. But really what it is a repossession.
Oh, it's a voluntary repossession.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if they come and hook a wrecker and steal it in the middle of the night, or you take it down there and hand them the keys, it shows exactly the same on your record.
Mm-hmm.
Both are a repossession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one's voluntary and one's involuntary, but the credit report does not distinguish between the two. And people ask, have you ever been repossessed? They don't ask, have you ever been voluntarily repossessed?
That's a very good point.
Have you ever filed bankruptcy? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Or no. It's not. There's not a, oh, well, sort of. There's not a middle answer. You did or you didn't, right? And so that's the problem with this. And so, yeah, please, folks, sell your stuff and cover the difference with a loan. Sell your stuff and cover the difference with cash. Control the price of the sale of something you're in the hole on, that you're upside down on, like an RV. I'm really shocked, pleasantly, John, that thing's worth as much as it is. You must have put a lot down on it to only owe 70 and it'd be worth 65 after you've driven it around all over the place.
Well, hey, let me ask you a guidance question, because some people might be wondering this that are listening. Let's say you've got, whether it's an RV or a vehicle, you're upside down and maybe you found the cash to fill the gap, but it requires you to do a personal sale. Like you're going to, for sale by owner.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I guess the question I'm asking is, how long would you stay on for sale by owner before you would go to a dealership to sell it, or, go through a dealership?
Well, here's the thing. If the data indicates from Kelley Blue Book that the car is worth $20,000, and you put it on the market for $20,000, and it goes a month and you get zero nibbles, car's probably not worth $20,000.
Yeah, drop it.
Turns out KBB was probably wrong. So the car's probably $18,000. So you're going to drop your price. But the dealer's going to give you $15,000.
Right.
So we can do series of price drops and resets until you get down to dealer. And if the dealer will give you $15,000 and the public's going to give you $15,000, then I'll deal with it.
Then it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's the real price.
It's an easier transaction to do it with a dealer, but it's very seldom, because dealers, if the car really won't sell for $20,000, a dealer really doesn't want it for $15,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Because their job is to resell it and make the spread.
Yeah.
They're buying to inventory to make a profit on it. And so they're not evil. They're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But they're buying it wholesale to sell at retail. And if you can't sell it at retail, they probably can't either.
I think a lot of people avoid selling their own vehicle because they're thinking, oh, this is a hassle. It is a hassle. Something I've never done before.
But we go do a side hustle and we make $1,000, or we can go through this hassle and save $5,000.
Right. I agree.
So, yeah, let's do the hassle. Hello.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's a nice part-time job to go sell your RV.
Right.
It's
you set the
you're
hours.
Gonna make a lot more on that than you will delivering pizza. I can tell you that. So.
Marty is kicking us off this hour in Charleston, South Carolina. Marty, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can John and I help?
I have a question. It's time for me to get back into the real world with a job, and I'm curious what might be better for me. to go after a state or local government job with less pay and more benefits, or go back to a private sector to where I maybe make more wages, but might have to pay a little bit more as far as the benefits go.
Where have you been?
I own a small business that didn't take off as well as I had planned.
Very cool. So you got in the ring, you took a couple of swings, and you got knocked down, and so now you're like, all right, I fought that dude, and he's pretty tough, and so I'm going to go get another job.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Good for you, man.
I started a small business with my buddy in August, and he ended up passing away in October.
Ah, dude. I'm so sorry, man. So you got grief on top of grief, man.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for sure.
Yeah, man.
How old are you?
My wife, I'm 34.
Okay. What about your wife?
My wife and I have been, we've been praying on it the whole time, because I had a decent job at a construction company as a diesel mechanic, and my buddy was like, "Hey, man, I want to try going out on my own. Would you come and work with me?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll give it a shot with you." And I was about ready to pull the plug on that because things weren't going very well for us. And like I said, he passed away in October, and 2 or 3 days after he passed away, we had got a large check from a job that we had finished. And so I sat down with my wife and I told her, I said, "Listen," I said, "I can take this money, I can catch us up on a few bills, and I can go ahead and put all of this in my name and give the business a shot and just under me, or I can put it all in the bank and I can go back to working for the man." And we thought on it, we prayed on it, but unfortunately there wasn't a whole lot of time, and she supported me trying it, and it's been a good run, but just not good enough. And it's to the point now where the bank accounts are getting a little bit lower than we both would like. And so I've accepted defeat for now, and I'll go back and work for the man. I'm just trying to figure out what would be best. I have tried to get wise counsel from my family, and half of them say, go and work for a government company because the benefits are great. Your wife is pregnant, and that's not the only kid that y'all plan on having. And then some of my other family and friends, they say, "Man, go back for where the money's at. It'll help you bounce back quicker." And I've listened to y'all for about a year or so now, and I have the complete money makeover. I have the baby step millionaires, and I know that I can have retirement later on in life through other ways than a government agency. However, I never really paid much attention to the benefit side of it before.
Marty, the way you're talking, it sounds like you're just defeated, you're beat down, you're going to make this move from a place of fear and weakness if you're not careful. And I want you to do it from a place of strength. And so I want you to stop talking that way about yourself, about the idea of work. It sounds like, "Well, man, I got to go work for the man down at..." Like, I want you to find something that you love to do. And naturally, you're going to get paid well if you're good at that. And it's not an either or in my mind of, do I do it for the benefits or the pay? The private sector can provide both. We've got great benefits here. It may not be the same as the government benefits, but you can create your own benefits when you get paid, 30% more. It's less of a feature at that point. So I don't want you to weigh this apples to apples. I want you to look at this whole thing differently.
You've boxed yourself into a corner where the wisdom you've received is it's either this or it's either this. And as George said,
either one sucks.
It's just not true. And I do want to take what George said and just mash on it. I could go home every day and be like, "I got to work for the man. The man is Dave. And he just takes it all out of me." Or I could say, "Dude, I get to learn how to play guitar from Eddie Van Halen. I get to sit by one of the goats of radio and learn how this thing works and learn how he runs a business and have access to all these different opportunities and get to be with some great editors, and I write a book, and I get to all of that is perspective. And I'm doing the same job every day. And so you can say, "I got to go back work for the man." Or, "Dude, I got in the ring and I took, my partner passed away. I tried it on my own and didn't make it. I'm going to go back and retool. I'm going to learn some new skills. I'm going to get back in the game, see what the young kids are doing these days. I'm going to get back in, and somebody else is going to pay me to learn how to do this. I'm going to work really hard for them. You see the difference in the attitude? My whole voice changes when I talk like that. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I do. My thing is I know that I know the business can do well. I know it can. My grandfather told me that I was backed into a corner from when I tried to take it over after my buddy passed. He said I was already in the hole and I did a fine job, so it's not really defeat. But my fear is if I go after a state job, that you have to be in there for a certain amount of time in order to reap the benefits of those benefits. But what I'd really like to do is I'd really like to go back to work for a company for maybe 5 or 10 years until my wife and I are out of debt with the mortgage. And I saved up my emergency fund again. I saved up a cushion for the business. I bought a few more tools. That way I could try this business venture again. Yeah.
Why are you calling us? You know what you're going to do. Go do it. Go do it.
Okay.
Listen, you got hit in the mouth real hard. You lost a friend. You lost a like a business partner, man. You got a lot of transition,
Yeah.
so it's natural to doubt yourself and then be unsure of the next step. But the way you just laid this out, man, you know exactly what you want to do. You know exactly what you... Stop asking people for wisdom. You've asked 1,000 people. Hey, man, what do you think about... You know what's right for you and your family. Go get it, man.
Marty, we're going to give you one more tool in the tool belt there, and that is Ken Coleman's Get Clear assessment, as well as his best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose. I think that's going to help you really figure out what that next thing is. So hang on the line. Austin will get you both of those resources, and we're wishing you the best, man. Thanks so much for the call.
Today's question comes from Lucy in Florida. I'm a senior in college and I have no student loan debt. Currently, I have enough scholarships and grants to cover about 85% of my expenses, which include my tuition, class materials, and rent. Out of pocket, I pay for my food, toiletries, and car expenses. I work about 19 hours at $14 per hour a week at a student position at my college, which covers the other 15% of my expenses. I'm seeing multiple scholarship opportunities that would apply to my senior year award letter, should I apply to them. The reason I am hesitant is because I feel comfortable with my financial situation, and I don't want to take the funds from students who might need it more than me. Even if I was able to get 100% of my college expenses covered, I would still keep my student position because it's valuable work experience towards my future career in data analytics. What should I do? Whew, that's an interesting question. I love that you haven't taken out any student loans. I love that you can pay for your tuition, and it doesn't sound like student loans are on the table. So if you feel comfortable continuing to do what you're doing and pay for your expenses and graduating debt-free, then, I mean, by all means, continue doing it. The fact that you're asking this question makes me think that you feel a little uneasy with taking the scholarships, and if you don't want to, I mean, that's fine. But also, there's nothing ethically or morally wrong in going for the scholarship. So I really don't think you can go wrong either way.
Yeah, you're not doing anything wrong by taking the scholarship. You're a very sweet, kind person, and you're not harming someone else. Okay? Go get the scholarship, kiddo.
Yeah.
Go get it. Put the money in the bank. Let it be your insurance policy that you are able to finish up school debt-free. You're a very content person, which also means you have a very high probability of building wealth. It's one of the big ideas that we push all the time is contentment. And you're not a greedy person. You're not a person who sets out to harm others, or to gain at someone else's expense. And none of that is occurring when you take this scholarship. None of it is occurring. There is bazillions of dollars of scholarships that go unclaimed every year. And so you need to go get this scholarship, as many of them as you can get. And you've done nothing wrong by doing that. They're issuing the scholarship not based on whether or not you need it. They're basing it based on the information you give them in the application.
Right. Yeah, you're not harming anyone else from pursuing these great opportunities.
Absolutely. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
how do I, or should I ever disclose to my wife that we are secretly worth millions of dollars?
How long you been married, bro?
5 years.
Are you from another culture? Or did you grow up in America?
Yes. I've been in the United States for 20 years.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Korea, but I was raised in San Jose.
Okay. All right. How old are you? So you're raised by obviously Korean parents that immigrated here.
That is correct.
Okay.
And
because
I'm
in
32 years old.
Anglo-America, what you just described, as you probably realize, is pretty whacked. Right?
I understand. And yes.
That's
and
why I
I'm
immediately said, is there some kind of
know.
a cultural reason for this? Because it's very unusual.
So the thing is, we are somewhat of a American couple. I work. My wife is stay-at-home wife because that's just how we chose to. The thing is, I'm the saver and she's the spender. And for me, I have been working very hard, working my job in my business to grow to where we are. And I am not sure whether I should ever disclose our net worth to her because I do not know how she's going to react.
Yeah. Well, she's probably going to react poorly because she's married to a guy who's deceived her. Unless she's a doormat. I mean, was she raised in a cultural situation where she's a doormat?
No, she's not.
Yeah, she's probably going to light you up then. Don't you think?
To be honest, the thing is, she and I have very different perspectives when it comes to finances. I got that. A saver, like I'm a minimalist. She's very much a free spirit.
I know, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you've been married to her for 5 years and sleeping with her for 5 years, but she didn't know you got any money. That's deception.
I handle all the finances in the
family.
Honey,
you're not listening. You keep deflecting every time I bring this at you. You have deceived your wife actively. She's not going to be cool with that.
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
You have deceived your wife actively. She's not going to be cool with that. You hear that?
So I understand that she's going to be somewhat, she is going to be angry. What I'm more troubled about is how she is going to take the news of these finances and if she's going to spend even more.
No, we got that. You're scared to death. Hold on.
You're scared she's going to go spend all your money, Bubba. I got that.
I have a question.
Which is the reason you lied to her in the first place. I got that.
Did you have any money when you married her? Did you bring family money into the marriage?
No.
Okay, so I heard you say you've worked really hard over the last 5 years in your business. So you're self-employed, is that right?
I have a full-time job and I have a business on the side.
Okay, what's making you here's my question. How much has your income increased from day one of the marriage to today? How much has it increased?
Sevenfold.
Sevenfold. So you're making what now?
$750,000.
And so she's noticed that you've gotten more money, correct? She's not living like a miser.
He doesn't exhibit any signs of it. It all goes into savings.
Well, I don't know. What was your answer?
My answer to...
Does she know that you're making more money?
No.
Not at all.
I handle all the finances.
So she has a stipend.
She has allowance, and I give her all the money for the household budget.
All right. I just wanted to get to the bottom of that and make sure that I absolutely understood that.
All right, Damon, here's the thing, okay?
Wow.
I value a quality marriage and relationship going into my old age because we've now been married almost 43 years. I value that more than money. You don't. So I'm having trouble connecting with you on this. I can't imagine a world where I would deceive my wife actively about any major thing for 5 years. About anything, not even a major thing. I don't deceive her about anything. Except if she asks if these jeans make her look fat, I might lie then. But
well played, sir.
although
Well
she's
played.
not fat, so there's okay. So that's an easy play, but right?
Yeah, that's not lying,
But
it's wisdom.
But I'm not lying about $750,000 worth of income and millions of dollars worth of net worth that she doesn't know about. I do quite the contrary because she can't grasp where we live today. But she's the saver. So to your point, Damon, how do you do this? I'm not sure I know how to answer your question. I will tell you this. I'm just the older guy sitting over here going, okay, you brought some culture into this where the guy's in charge and the lady doesn't have any say or any vote, especially if she's the spender. And so all of that combined with your nerd-like paranoia has led you to this deception. And so I'm giving you a little bit of grace here, but I'm telling you, this is not going to end well. The longer you put this off, the worse this is going to get. And there's two things here that you can't put off anymore. I think. You called and asked, so son, you're always going to get an answer here because we love you and we want you to win. So thing number one that's not going to last and go well is your disrespect of your wife. So she and you need to talk about her spending and you all get on the same page. You probably need to lighten up about 25 notches. And she probably needs to tighten up about 5 notches. And the two of you get on grown-up pages on how we are going to live our life, or you're not going to be able to go forward because you don't respect her. You think she's a child, and you're treating her as such. And that is the second point, is your marriage is not going to end well. It's not going to last because this stuff blows up. And the longer you wait and the bigger these numbers are, the bigger the explosion is going to be. So deal with the relational breakdown between you and her on you not communicating clearly with her, and that it terrifies me that you spend out of control. It terrifies me that you think you're in Congress. It terrifies me. We've got to get on the same page, honey. We got to get on the same page. And you've got to get to the point that you respect her competency as an adult, and also, sooner rather than later, you've got to stop this deception because those two things are going to end your marriage.
Yeah, I agree with everything Dave said, Damon. Here's what I would do if I were you. I would say to my wife, I have a massive fear problem. And because I have a fear problem, I'm a control freak. And don't make this about her. Don't make this at all about her spending.
Agreed.
Because you've actually given her an allowance. And based on what you've told Dave and I, she's been fairly compliant. So this is a pretty good lady. She may spend her allowance in a frivolous way, but my goodness, bro, she ain't a spender.
All $4.
Yeah. So we know you've got her locked down tighter than a drum. So I would lead with, I'm afraid. I'm a control freak because I'm afraid. I'm going to sit with a therapist, and I'm going to dig at the bottom of this, but I've got to confess this. This is on me, not on you. And what I'd like to do is apologize, 1. 2, I'm going to go get healthy. 3, in the midst of all of that, we are going to do a budget together, and I'm going to bring you into everything. And for heaven's sakes, I'd start with giving her a bigger allowance, man.
No, I wouldn't even start. No. You just need to talk about this.
No, I know. I said third step is after they budget.
As a part of the budget.
That's what I mean.
They both need to spend their money. Nobody that's a spouse gets an allowance.
Well, that's fair. That's right. Let me correct that because I'm not saying in that context, but she's got spending money, whatever that is, and in that budget, you need to loosen the reins some as she begins to build back trust because you are going to violate her trust when you tell her this is my point. So you're going to have to meet her in the middle, however you do that. That's fair. I don't mean an actual allowance, but.
So, Damon, Ken and I are saying you're the problem, not her. That's what we're saying. And you need to go work on you, buddy. This is a weird thing you've done. And you need to own that. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Scott's with us in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Dave and John. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So I'm on baby step 2. I have $136,000 in student loans. and was wondering if using the equity I have in my house to, in about 4 or 5 years down the road, either refinance or take out a HELOC to pay off that student loans when it becomes an option.
Well, you didn't pay off the student loan. You just moved it onto your home. If you don't pay a student loan, they don't foreclose.
Moving that debt around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you don't pay a student loan, they don't foreclose on your house. If you don't pay a HELOC, they foreclose on your house.
Mm-hmm.
You just increased your risk.
Yeah, you're putting your house on the
substantially.
block.
You just put your house on the line for your stupid student loan. No, thank you.
Sure. Even like refinancing to a 15-year.
Well,
you know,
again,
still,
you just put your house on the line for the student loan. You didn't pay it off, dude. You just moved it. You understand, right?
Yep.
And
Paying it off means that you don't owe it anymore, anywhere.
You moved it with more risk.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your household income?
About 100.
Cool. Good for you. How old are you?
33 and 4 kids.
Good for you. She stay-at-home mom full-time or what?
No, she works part-time.
So what's your total household income?
100.
Oh, the 100 includes her. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How old are the kiddos?
1, 4, 11, and 12.
What do you do for a living?
Physical therapist.
Good for you. You paid a lot for that. If
Yeah.
that's all you on PT,
about
you got
2 years
you
ago.
got hammered. Okay.
Most PTs I know are making more than $80,000 a year. Is it your market? What's
He
the
just
deal?
started. He
Just started. Okay.
I bet, didn't you?
Yeah, so base salary of about 70.
When did you
75,
start?
And I work weekends.
When did you
so
get
there's,
out? When did you get your PT?
2018. So about 3.5 years now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But John's right. You should see $10,000 bumps along the way here pretty quick as you get some experience,
Mhm.
and you got the ability to add some hours, except for the fact you got a bunch of littles at home. But tear into this thing. I want you to just roll up your sleeves and go bust your butt, stay out of restaurants, no vacations, and get this thing knocked out. And then when your house is paid off, it's paid off. You didn't have a big student loan over there hiding behind your mortgage, acting like it didn't happen. It's a form of financial denial. I'm going to help you, Scott. I've been right where you are and didn't know what to do. We've got the answer. It's called Financial Peace University. And if you'll hang on, I'm going to pay for it for you and your wife and your 4 littles. And I want you to go through this class. It's 9 lessons. And we're going to jack you up, jazz you up, and teach you what to do. And if you'll go do exactly what we teach, you should have this paid off in about 3 years. Christine is with us. Christine's in St. Louis. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I am very thankful to be talking with both of you today. Thank you for taking my call.
Certainly. How can we help?
Well, I'm living a country song, so I'm hoping you might be able to give me some ethics advice. I was a travel nurse until I had a stroke last year, and it knocked me flat. Thank you. At this point, I'm physically able to work a half day, about 2 or 3 days a week. So praise God, I'm healing, but I still have a ways to go. While I was travel nursing, I held my tithe aside in a separate account because I didn't have a home church. And in the last number of months, I've just had back-to-back emergencies. So I've used up my 6-month emergency fund, and I've used up my emergency fund. And now I have property taxes and a $640 prescription due next month. And I'm wondering about the ethics of dipping into that tithe account as a second emergency fund in this situation.
Okay. All right. You have children?
I do not. I am single, unmarried.
Okay, cool. All right. Do you have a good relationship with your dad?
Yes.
Good.
They have already helped.
Okay. I wasn't asking for that reason. I was asking for another reason. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. God is our Heavenly Father. Scripture is very clear on this. He's absolutely crazy about you. Just like your dad is. He thinks you're amazing. And he says to you, my daughter, the best way to live your life is to be generous. Generous people prosper. Generous people have better lives than selfish people. A baseline for the generosity is 1/10 of your income going into your local church.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get this straight. God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns the hills. He does not need your money. And if his bride, the church, needs your money, then they are confused. Because their source is not you. Their source is God. So the tithe is to get you into a rhythm of giving, because giving is good for you. It's not an ethics or a moral question that makes you bad. It's like God says, if you eat donuts by the box, you will get fat, my daughter. Don't eat them. That's what he said to me, by the way. Dave, don't eat donuts. You will get fat. Because when I can eat every donut in a 50-mile radius. But is God mad at me if I eat a donut? No, he just said your best life is if you're generous and eat healthy and exercise every day. That's your best life. I know that. And my dad in heaven that loves me says that. And he loves you. And he's not worried about the tithe. So if you need to use this money to eat, you're going to be just fine. Don't ever give out of a sense of duty or out of a sense of legalism or rules. Give because it's the best way to live your life. Right now, the best way to live your life is pay your prescription bill.
Is to live.
And to live your life. And you'll get back to giving soon enough.
Okay.
So, lots of grace on the tithe. I'm a tither. I believe in tithing. I come from I got saved. I met God in a tradition that teaches tithing. I teach it. I do believe it, but with absolutely zero legalism. Lots and lots of grace on it. Okay?
That gives me a lot more comfort.
What would your
with all
dad
this.
say if he gave you $100,000 and he said, "Oh, you need to give $10,000 of this to the church," and then you got your back up against the wall like you do right now? Would your dad be mad at you if you used that $10,000? Your dad loves you. He would not be mad at you.
Thank you.
That's why I asked.
appreciate you walking me through that.
That's why I asked you about your dad's relationship right there. Because this is your heavenly father. It's the same thing. And if I can see a healthy earthly father smiling, how much more so our Father in heaven?
Amen.
You're going to be okay. I'm sorry you've been through this.
Thank you. Well, God's carried me this far, and now I understand the grace a little better that'll carry me through the next step.
Yeah. And you'll get back to giving. You're going to end up giving a whole lot more than this amount of money through the course of your life above the tithe. You'll make up the ground just because of who you are, aren't you?
Thank you.
You're a nurse,
that's
for
so
goodness
important
sake.
to me.
Yeah. We love you, darling. Thank you for calling. Sorry you had this year.
It's a tough year.
Amazing. Paul is with us. Paul is in Springfield, Massachusetts. Hi, Paul. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ken.
Hey, what's up?
Quick question for you. I'm on my church's finance committee, and we're going to be having a capital campaign fundraiser coming up for a new social center. And in Massachusetts, the marijuana industry is now legal. And so I've been thinking about what is your thoughts on receiving donations or soliciting donations from someone who, makes their living from that industry? And is it something that we should consider or not consider? I know you always say money is neither moral or immoral. And even though I'm against it, should I not care about it, or should I care about it?
Well, who are you? Are you talking about just walking out in the community and knocking on doors, or are these people in your church?
There are people are in the church. They're in the church.
Okay, so you have a guy that sells pot legally that goes to your church.
Right.
Does he tithe or give?
I do not know that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is your your church's spiritual stand on this in the community?
I think we're against it. But then I sort of say, well, if it was a liquor store, which, I'm not a big drinker at all, but I don't think we'd have any problem with that. So then I'm like, is it just, am I trying to be overthinking it or not overthinking it?
Well, both are certainly legal in your state. Okay. The question is how you all perceive it as a church. Okay, from a spiritual viewpoint, if your pastor stands up in the pulpit and preaches against drinking under any circumstances, then even though a liquor store is legal, you shouldn't take money from them. That would be hypocritical. Agreed?
Right.
And if he stands up in the pulpit and says, even though marijuana is now legal, we don't think it's good. We think that, smoking pot, getting high is a sin. I don't think you ought to do that. Then, taking money from the local weed store is hypocritical. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was
But now,
thinking.
if your pastor's ambivalent about it, and your pastor and the spiritual leaders, the deacons, the elders, however your church is governed and structured from a spiritual standpoint, if they're ambivalent about it and they put pot in the same category as liquor, then and you don't have an issue from a spiritual standpoint. If we wouldn't call it sin, okay, then for instance, the church that I go to, alcohol is not something that is preached against. Obviously in moderation, but having a glass of wine or a glass of bourbon or something like that, our pastor does not scream and yell and get red in the face about it, okay? And so that church receiving tithes from the local liquor store would not be a problem, at the church that I attend, as an example, okay? But if you went to a church that had that stance, then to receive the money is hypocritical. So I think you need to establish where you all stand on this issue, and then that will tell you spiritually where you stand, and that will tell you whether to take the money or not. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
And as a member of the finance committee, you've got to talk to church leadership about this, get their position on it as Dave's laid it out.
I'll give you another example, okay? I'll give you another example. Most evangelical churches would be strongly pro-life, anti-abortion. And to take tithe money or capital campaign money from an abortion doctor that attends that church would be hypocritical as crud.
Right.
It's the money is not dirty, but the person that you're allowing them to attend the church because you hope you can change them. You hope you can lead them to a better way of life, a better way of living, a better set of activities. If you believe that what they're doing is wrong, okay? And so you've got to, and I'm assuming, let's just make an example here further at your church. If your church says, hey, we don't believe smoking pot is okay from a spiritual standpoint, we don't believe that. If they take that stand, then they not only should not accept this money, but they also should begin to walk with their arm around this weed store owner and lead him into your way of thinking, or make him uncomfortable enough that he finds a church where it's okay to own a weed store, and that because it needs to be consistent in his spiritual walk, and we need to be clear about what is sin, what isn't in the way you all take a stand on stuff. But the money itself is not dirty. It's how we're treating the people kindly, and kindly disagree with them if we need to.